Hey, everybody. How's everybody been? Welcome on back. I'm getting it ready. I'm scrubbing up, brushing my teeth, getting me some damn coffee, because everybody needs some coffee. Eat you a good breakfast, because this thing's about to hit. And it's hitting.
It hit.
Don't hit me.
Hello, everybody. Hello, Ember. Oh, hang out in the chat for a little bit. Keep it busy for me. Till other. Oh, wait a minute. Al's here. You can come up now. Well, I've proven unreliable recently. I wasn't here last Sunday, so now everybody's like, "Fuck you, Beck." I might come, I might not.
Beck who? That guitar player?
All right.
You were frozen there.
I'll say a thing or two. Thanks, Al. Well, my internet blinked right when you were doing that, Jenny, so I caught like two little tiny weird notes. So I think you were singing.
Yeah, right. I sing. Sure.
I'll sing later. How's that sound?
I don't sing.
I sing,
sing
just
for money.
not when other people can hear me because I'm afraid I'll hurt them.
If someone signs up for your Patreon, I'll sing for them.
I'll sing.
There
if
you
it keeps
go.
me I'll sing if it keeps me out of jail.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay, let's
Sounds
see.
good.
You do charity. If you don't like my singing, donate or I'll sing. If you like my singing, donate and I'll sing.
Yeah.
If you don't like it, pay me and I'll shut up and I'll quit putting out these videos. That'd be my line. If you pay me $5 a month, I'd be independently wealthy and I'd never have to work again.
Yeah. I was
There you
looking
go,
at
Amber.
who was it when Matt was on? I went and looked at his Patreon. He had 1,700 members. I was like, damn, that's doing something.
Oh, I didn't see you in there, Marty. I was so used to you not being blue. That was weird.
Yeah. Al loves this thing.
Yeah, Ember, I'm still working on that. I'm not quite at that. I'm not sure what my top and low end are yet. I'm still trying to figure that out, I think.
This is mine.
Because mine has dropped. My voice dropped again this past year, so I don't know what to do with it right now. But I know one thing is I can sing Johnny Cash songs and go lower than him. That I know.
I guess that rules
I
out
love
the
it.
Gerber. I guess that rules out the Gerber going to be on the new Sopranos.
Yep, no Sopranos for me. The new Sopranos. Oh yeah,
I
that's
can
funny.
kind of do bass a little bit.
I'm better
Al
on
said
the
I did
high
some
end.
singing. I did some singing, and the internet is still trembling.
Yeah.
I
Al may
could
not have a good singing voice, but his lyrics kill. You know, and he's overly concerned with the way he sounds and doesn't realize the genius in what he writes.
Yeah, yeah.
Hi, Kyle. How come everybody?
Hello,
the pictures
Denny.
are so how come the pictures are so small?
I don't know.
They're about 6 millimeters. No, that's better. No, that's way worse. That's better.
You like? Okay, you want them like that, or we got that, or we got that.
That's fine. That's fine.
That's where it was.
No, it isn't. They were itty bitty tiny. They're like that.
They just moved. I just moved them down some. Look, here's the difference. Wait a minute, where'd it go? That, or hold on,
No,
wrong one.
you can get the right one.
Do you see how small they are?
It's the same
No.
size.
No, it's not.
Maybe. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's just messing up on your device. I'll just leave it there.
Nope,
Okay.
they're the same size.
No, it's doing it here too.
Oh, you want a mobile device too?
Yes.
Yeah,
Oh,
Kyle's on
mobile
mobile.
thing.
Oh well, see then it's Beck's fault.
I'm not seeing any difference
Well,
other than
because-
it going up and down a little bit.
Well, because you can edit it now, so I had moved my things around a little bit to accommodate, so like Joe's face wouldn't be behind the damn peace sign up there. So that's why I moved things around and changed some things. Like I like this layout for if you're watching a video better than
Uh-huh.
the side layout. This one is also nice if
No,
you're
that's not
sharing a
bad.
screen. Because you got the little everybody's clumped. Well, you'd have to turn the banner off, but that one's cool too. I made that one up, and
I've-
then we're back to that.
I sent
sorry.
you two screen dumps in Twitter.
Twitter in the shitter. You threw them in the shitter.
See,
The
if,
Twitter shitter, yeah.
if I remember correctly, if you go into the settings, you can rearrange that stuff on the bottom there, so you can take the ones that you've customized and put them, forefront.
Exactly. Huh. Interesting, Jenny.
Dude,
That's
your
what it looks like on
Patreon
your
link-
screen on the ones I edited, huh? Huh.
Mhm.
Your Patreon link is totally not in the description, you liar.
Oh, I
was gonna
forgot
give
to
you
put it
money.
in, didn't I? I guess it's not in this.
Beck, you don't shape up. We're gonna go on strike. No.
Yeah. Get your shit together. Jesus.
I'm really bad at asking for money. I'm sorry. I'll try to improve. And one day, if I have enough viewing and streaming time, then I will become a member. Not an membership, but a YouTube like.
Wait, is it still
Thing.
asking for money if it's done at gunpoint?
Monetize. That's what I was looking for. I don't know. Jenny,
Dude,
would you answer that for me? You might be better with that.
Answer what?
Maybe you said something about guns, and I thought I'd ask Jenny. That's all.
I don't know. I didn't hear it. I'm sorry.
Yeah, is it still asking for money if it's at gunpoint?
I think it's demanding at that point.
I think it kind of changes the
Yeah.
verbiage. Might be different for that.
Well, it's certainly pushy.
Yeah, and rude.
Look, the only thing with channel memberships is that they're so convenient and easy. Like YouTube ends up getting a piece of it, but they make it real easy for you to interact and do things with the members. I'm a member I got an membership, but
I get memberships randomly for you and Ember
Yeah.
because people buy them, and I'm in
Yep.
the roll of the dice, and I've been really
Yeah.
lucky lately. I've had all kinds of free memberships. Maya, you, Ember.
At 3.
Yeah.
Regios gifted like 50 memberships on my channel last week, and I got messages from people saying, I don't even watch atheist content or know who you are, and I got a membership to your channel. And I was like, oh, sorry, I guess hang out
Well,
if
they
you want.
must have hit subscribe at some point. So
Yeah. But yeah,
Mm.
a lot of random people.
Yeah, that's basically
Vector
how I get
ships.
all my memberships. Is that people just gift them to me.
I'm
I think we should call them
32
member
subs
Becks.
away from 1,000.
Hell with the ships. Call them member Becks.
How far away?
32.
Wow.
You are? Wow.
My TikTok is
mods,
100
put
away from
Joe's-
1,000.
Put Joe's link in the chat and everybody share it out on their social media stuff. See if we can get him to 1,000.
And it's not going to change anything other than I can like redirect and stuff. But that's just a goal that I've had. I feel like it's an achievement.
Wow.
Yeah, I've been working on my TikTok for 2.5 years now, and I'm almost to 1,000.
Yeah. It's
I mean,
It-
some of my videos get up to 18,000 views, but nobody wants to hit follow.
yeah. It like my stuff plateaued up in the 700s, and I got kind of discouraged. But I had a lot of stuff coming up that I knew was going to help out. But the Matt Dillahunty show has like almost 5,000 views.
Oh, wow.
in the
Congrats.
first 48 hours. So, and Aaron was on today. You were there though.
Yep.
And
Yeah, we were all
hopefully pick up a few more off of that. And I got other good stuff coming though. I'm having a lot of fun right now on my channel. Is what I'm doing. It's not been serious.
wait.
Just hanging out and talking with cool people.
You wait, because what people do is they search Aaron Raw, and then
Yeah.
your video is going to pop up and it's going to blow up.
Yeah, I tagged
I
him
know.
in the
Oh yeah.
I also noticed how you titled your video with Matt Dillahunty first, so that'll
Yeah.
pop up in the algorithm first. So that was smart.
Yeah. I wanted to clout chase as good as possible. No, but I really wanted to talk to those guys. They're Aaron and I have such a similar history that I just wanted to sit down and talk with him. And not a bit of it was scripted. We just had a conversation is all we did today, and it was a lot of fun, and I feel like everybody enjoyed it that was there. And Maya's out there shilling for me. She'll be on tomorrow.
Hello.
Nice.
Yeah.
Maya, show your own appearance, please.
I got to figure out
Good
when
to
I
see
can go
you.
on Bad Science Sundays because I really want to do that show. Even though it's late and I don't usually do stuff late, I really want to do that one because it's such a fun show. Dr. Tapioca Weasel cracks me up.
I know, he's such a funny little fucker, isn't he?
Yeah, he's fun to watch.
Excuse me.
Oh, Spackle's on tonight. Ah, that'll be fun. Spackle's on BSS tonight. For those of you that do not know Holy Spackle, you will enjoy her. She is funny and brilliant and goofy, and yeah, she's a lot of fun. She's a great person.
Make her explain where Spackle comes from.
Because she holds the two
No,
communities together.
don't ruin the surprise. We got crossover because
It's okay. Nobody watching this is gonna say anything on Maya's. I trust them.
Well, if people
Anyways.
are looking for other nice places to go and see some genuine talent and stuff, I would encourage you all to head over to TikTok and look up our dear Cosmic Kyle here. Got some nice stuff developing. And you haven't been on TikTok that long, have you?
Only about 2 years.
Well, I just noticed you 6 months ago, so you're brand new to me.
And
But
thank
definitely
you,
go take
by
a
the
look.
way. It's very kind.
Kyle's doing some astrophotography that's quite nice.
I took some cool
Yes.
pics of the moon last week.
Yeah?
It was warm out at night, and I could take my kids out and look at the moon. It was a lot of fun.
Very cool.
I wanted to see how
Yeah,
my new phone did.
Behave, Kyle. We all know you have a better telescope than everybody else here. So
I wasn't gonna even bring it up. I was just gonna say I took some sun pictures yesterday, which was kind of cool.
See, I need to get a solar filter for mine so I can do that. I've got a lunar filter, but not a solar filter.
It's so worth it. Being able to see the sunspots is really cool.
That's actually what I want to do. That's like the big thing I wanted to do with it, but I've just solar filter has been at the bottom of the priority list for a while.
Yeah.
It shouldn't be, Joe. You can buy one of these film type solar filters.
Yeah.
You buy a big sheet of it, 4x4 and 6x6 sheet for $10.
Yeah, and I could totally make that work easily. I mean,
And people just tape it over their objective lens and
Ember.
Hey, Ember.
Hello. How are you, sweetheart?
Oh, it's all right. Everything, everywhere, all at once, as per usual.
Well, yeah, okay.
Felt.
Yeah.
Felt.
Nothing's changed.
Getting ready for tonight's show, and I was doing some editing on another. I had grand delusions about making a pre-recorded video today, but I got the video to work on edited, so now I can start to record.
Ah, okay. See,
Like,
that's
you
why I don't
know-
do content. I don't have the attention span. I'm not into it enough to stay focused. That's all the bottom line. I'm not.
hate
It's not
editing.
enough. Like I have to have an autistic obsession over something, and then I'm totally like, "This is
Oh,
me.
yeah,
I'm this for whatever amount of time I'm doing this."
That's fair.
Kyle's like, "Yes."
You know,
No,
I am
no,
one
like
with the
seriously, my
game.
if YouTube pushed
Uh,
lives anywhere near as much as it does recorded content, I'd do all lives. It'd be so much easier.
Right.
and speaking of like autistic obsession, for the last 26 days now, I've been listening to the same band over and over and over again.
Ooh, I do that.
Like I can't listen to anything else. Like this one band scratches my brain itch that I just can't get rid of.
I do
Sometimes
that.
it be
I
that
need
way.
that part scratched.
I mean, it was bad enough that I got a tattoo for them.
Yeah.
I was listening to a lot of Eminem for a minute, and then I changed my mind. I listened to something else. Now I'm listening to the Monkees. I was obsessed with Pearl Jam. So I
Hey,
was,
we're the monkeys.
yeah, I fucking love the Monkees.
Well, like I was saying before we went on, I've had Cats in the Cradle stuck in my head since Friday.
I want to
Mar-
get
Marty, I used to
The
know
cat
every word
tattoo
of every
that
monkey
he
song there
first
was.
I know a lot of the words of the Monkees.
It is a
I
good
used to watch
song,
that-
Mage.
I used to watch that song. Watch that show when I was a kid. When I come home from school, it'd be on Nickelodeon.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Nickelodeon.
remember the cartoon show they had?
Monkeys
Yeah,
had-
I was watching them when they were new.
Okay, well, I
It used to
watched
be
it when I
called-
was a kid in
It
elementary
used to
school.
be called like
they
Pinwheel
were
or
really
something.
funny. They were really funny when I was a kid.
I watched them when they were just slightly
Nickelodeon.
dusty, but not old yet. Just slightly
Yeah.
dusty.
I used to watch My Three Sons and Patty Duke on Nick at Night.
I'm sad that Davy Jones went down. That's
All three monkeys are dead except for Mickey Dolenz. He's the only
Yeah.
living monkey.
yeah, isn't it a damn shame that he's the last one available? You know, that was
Yeah, that's sad.
Fuck that, Purple. This is why I don't do content. She said, I found a rule of thumb for making edited videos is it will take about 1 hour of work for each minute of runtime. I ain't got that kind of time.
For animation,
I'd rather be playing Skyrim.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
But like well, it depends on a lot of factors. Like if you pre-edit your video that you're responding to, assuming you're doing a response video,
That's how I do it.
it'll take time.
Not yet.
It depends on how much nonsense there is in the video.
Yeah.
But if you clip it down to just what you want to respond to, that'll shorten it up. And if you keep your responses as short as possible, be straight to the point, try not to tangent, which I fail at regularly. But if you can keep it down, then the final edit will be very, very minimal. It's mostly just sticking on your intro and your outro.
So the way that
Yeah.
I do that is I take each part I'm going to respond to and I make a new folder and I clip it down and make each clip, and then I record the audio separately, and then I combine them all into each piece. I just piece it together like a puzzle in Shotcut, and then render it like that. But it still takes forever. I mean, there's no quick way to edit. There are easy ways, just not quick.
The big thing
I've
with
done
me
that
is
sometimes, Reggie.
Yeah, the big thing-
It can save a lot of time.
the big thing with me is cutting out all the flubs and stutters and stuff I do.
Oh no, you save those and you put them on the end as a blooper reel. I don't always do that, but when I do, every single person who
funny.
watches to the end leaves a comment.
You have a blooper?
I might do one where I completely don't edit any of that out.
I've never
There
seen
you
a
go.
start a scandal.
Yeah.
You could do a video on this marvelous vegetable production that you did, but then include the mistake reel by showing you switching the plants. So your plant died, but this one's still healthy.
Actually, I
Lovely.
do have a April Fool's one in mind where I show how to get the plant to grow a little healthier by just completely destroying it.
Yeah.
Okay.
First you get first you need to stress the plant, and I'll just stab the crap out of it with a soil knife or something.
You know, I didn't know shit about soil knives until Mage went over some reviews, and then now I know a lot about fucking soil knives. I had no idea it was so fucking complicated, and there were so many different kinds, and some are shit and some are good, and yeah.
Hey, every day you learn something is a good day.
Yeah, mine's
I did.
okay.
I learned something that day.
Mine's kind of a lower end kind of thing. I heard there's actually others that were someone recommended going for more of like a military grade one for like rock climbing or something. Or can't so instead of the ones for gardening, they apparently be made sturdier.
I just use a serving spoon from the kitchen. All you got, it's just dirt. You just wipe it off and use it in the kitchen.
Put gloves and use your hands.
One thing I would like to get my hands on, or maybe figure out how to make, is a digging stick, also known as a yam stick. Yeah, it's a very old implement for
very
digging.
old.
Yeah, it's very, very old. The cultures that use it actually primarily was used mainly by women in the cultures that would use them. But they would dig wells and trenches and stuff with this digging stick, and it would also double as a defensive tool for like if they're out in the woods and stuff, and they come across an animal or something, they could defend themselves with the stick. It's just
what's that called again, Mage?
A digging stick or a yam stick. Its primary use was digging wells and trenches and stuff, but it was also used a lot of times
harvesting tubers.
Harvesting tubers. And I've actually seen one of these things used and actually put to use, and they're actually better at digging up tubers than using a shovel, because you don't damage the tubers that way.
I see.
Does it take a lot of engineering to build a stick?
No, well, there actually is a process in making one of these. You can actually...
Yeah. Neat.
I don't do plants. I kill plants.
Okay, so here's some example of some yam digging sticks of the Abellum, I guess. I'm assuming those are the top ends and not the bottom ends of the digging
I think
sticks.
it's the top and the bottom. I think it's 2 sticks.
Oh yeah.
I think I'm not sure.
That.
Like you're making my brain bleed.
Those are pretty decorative for them.
How can one stick be 2 sticks?
There we go. So they're
a pointy stick.
Yeah, I don't usually see them. Decorative.
That one has a non-garden use too, doesn't it?
Yeah.
Like I said, they doubled as defensive weapons.
Oh, okay.
And they were apparently anywhere from 1.5 feet tall up to 8 feet tall.
Now, why would you want an 8-foot stick? What kind of vegetable requires that much force?
Probably
it's also a defensive weapon, though. So
it's probably also used for. They use it for. This was before the shovel was invented, by the way.
Okay, so what you're concerned about then is that if you have, like, say, a wild radish and it attacks you, you can beat it off with a stick, right?
No, in case you have a wild old cat trying to eat you, you can beat it off with a stick.
Oh.
It's a fuck around and find out stick.
Yeah. and the larger ones I imagine probably were more for like trench digging and stuff, that where you'd need to do a lot more digging than you would just for digging up tuber.
Right on. Well, I learned something today. Thank you, Mage.
There you go.
Who invented the
yam
fork?
digging stick?
Who invented the fork? I expect Ember knows this.
Mr. Fork.
Oh, my brain just goes to jokes, Lord Fork Quad or something.
Most likely invented in Eastern.
So many things are named after lords, like the sandwich from the Earl of Sandwich and all that crap.
Sir Fork probably invented it in the 1700s, is my guess.
Although its origins may go back to ancient Greece, the personal table fork was most likely invented in Eastern Rome, the Byzantine Empire, where they
That
were
makes-
in common use by the 4th century. Records show that by the 9th century, in some elite circles of Persia, a similar utensil known as a barin was in limited use. There you go.
That makes sense.
Learn something else.
Thank you, Wikipedia.
You're welcome. That was Fork Wikipedia.
Wikipedia.
The ancient inventions.
That was a fork around and find out.
There you go.
Now this one says 4th century and not 9th, but somewhere apparently between the 4th and 9th century.
See, that ruins my whole concept of life. I always had these visualizations of people in like the 1200s, 1500s, everything, just grabbing stuff, like mashed potatoes and just shoving them into their mouth and stuff like that. And
Yeah, some
people have no
Roman folk.
manners.
A lot of people did,
that
certainly,
it was
because
that it was
they were
pork
poor.
that civilized humans.
Has
Yeah, it
anyone
was
been
an
to the
aristocracy
Dixie
thing.
Stampede?
The who?
Dixie Stampede. It's like an event place show that takes place in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee.
I've been there.
Okay, they the whole setup is supposed to be like during the Civil War, and it's North versus
Okay.
South, and you sit on one side or the other, and just as a play thing, and they put on a show, and there's horses that they stand up and ride on, and all kinds of neat stuff. It's a really cool show.
Yeah.
But they give you food, and when you buy your ticket, you pick like what you're going to eat, and they just hand it all out, but they don't give you utensils. They tell you got to eat with your hands, and people at that time were not eating with their hands.
Yeah, that's true. They weren't. They had utensils at that time.
Didn't work very well, huh?
No. The
Well, they
Dixie
kept making
Chicks
them out of
awesome.
paper, and they only lasted like one meal. So
Yeah.
I want to go to that. That sounds like fun. A Civil War thing like that. Does it last like a couple days?
No, it's like it's a show, and it costs, at the time I went, it was like $40 per person, and it's got like arena seating, and you sit, and they put you on either side just randomly, and they actually pick audience members to take part in some of the show and stuff, and a different side wins each time, North or South, based on things they have audience members do and stuff, like little contests and stuff.
Do people
it's a blast.
cosplay?
Yeah, they're all dressed in Civil War era costumes and stuff. I went to a few of those different shows in Pigeon Forge. They're all awesome.
Yeah, now that when you said once you said Pigeon Forge, I started remembering seeing videos of them, but I've never been there. But yeah, I have heard of them.
And why do you have to forge pigeons? That's something
I
I've always
don't
wondered.
know. I don't know.
So the more advanced pre-utensil cultures had a tradition where you would wipe with one hand exclusively and you would eat with one hand exclusively. So
Morocco.
the Europeans,
And shake hands and
no.
everything with that one hand. Yeah.
I believe India also lives by that, in Pakistan, some other.
Yeah.
I eat with both hands, so yes. But I do this thing. We have this tradition here in the United States called wash your hands when you leave the bathroom. So I do that. So that's
it's
modernist.
considered offensive in some cultures to handle food with your left hand because
that's
is
the hand
for
they wipe
wiping
with. Yeah.
Stuff. Yeah.
We were. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No. Go ahead. You're fine. I was just rambling.
We were very, very poor when I was a kid, and we couldn't afford any kind of utensils, so we just put the plate in front of you and dive down with your head. Just,
Yeah, whatever.
Start biting it
That's
right
fun
off,
too.
like a dog dish.
Yeah, just fuck yeah, why not?
It was kind of fun.
Saves on washing dishes.
Well, yeah.
I used to hate doing that dishes when I was a kid. Yeah, that's
Yeah.
exactly right, Maya. Just get your animalistic fucking tendencies and let them go. Just let it happen. Stick your face down on that plate. And I do that, but not with food. Anyways, never mind. Different topic.
Ooh.
Giggity, giggity, giggity.
That was cool.
I also tried to convince my mom, why do we even have to have the plates? Can't we just like lay on our backs and you can like shovel it into our mouths right from the kettle.
Like baby
Like
birds.
birds.
Ah,
Yeah.
ah, ah.
Have you seen these parents that pre-chew their food for their kids?
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's something I try not to
Yeah,
ever think about.
They usually
I
have
think at least
wings,
with
and
Silverstone-
it's usually they're carnivores.
I think Alicia Silverstone was there was some coverage of her talking about doing that and stuff. It's real weird.
Someone tell me it's
I got
something that
nothing.
MAGAs do.
Yeah.
Does anybody remember that movie?
Which movie?
What's why it says silver? I think
2000 Maniacs.
No,
No, don't know that one.
Glory is my favorite Civil War movie.
Oh, that's a really good movie.
Yeah,
I don't like
Yeah.
war movies, but I really like that one.
yeah.
We got
it's
plates. Go ahead. I'm
good
sorry.
history. No, I'm sorry. I talk too much.
No, you don't. You're fine. Yeah, no, Purple. We got plates, but what you learned at a very young age is if you don't eat fast enough and clear your plate so you can get seconds, because your plate had to be clear to get seconds. You ain't
Yeah.
getting that second pancake, or you're not getting that other piece of that pork chop, or you ain't getting shit. Because
you ain't
the
getting
boys
shit
would
else
just
ever
fucking
until you
like
eat that.
shovel it in, and it would be like 2 bites for them to my 1, and I could never win. I never got seconds. So I was a very slim, like perfect weight child. It was impossible for me to be obese because they ate so much food.
Did you ever have your parents put your food in the fridge and make you eat it later because you wouldn't eat it
Yes, that's
Liver.
how I eat steak.
Liver.
Gross.
I got cold liver because we didn't have a microwave back then.
Ooh.
And it was on a plate with the fucking mustard and ketchup and Worcestershire sauce and mayonnaise and everything else I tried to add to it to cover it up. That didn't work because it was more of a texture issue than a flavor issue.
Worcestershire is the bomb, by the
And
way.
she'd give it to me on
Fucking
Saturday
love it.
morning when she was making everybody else homemade blueberry pancakes, like fresh blueberries from Grandma's garden.
Oh.
Blueberries.
You know what I
The
prefer more than
best
that,
blueberries in the
Joe,
world.
is I prefer
Trauma.
Were the best blueberries in the world.
Mhm.
And so I got a hunk of fucking cold liver.
I didn't like steak when I was a kid, the taste or the texture. So my dad used to force feed it to me, which worked out really well. So they did that. They did that thing like in Tommy Beers where Christina doesn't eat her steak, and so Joan Crawford makes her eat it the next day, and it's cold, and then the next day, and it's still cold. My parents did that to me. So not only do I not like steak because I don't like the taste or the texture, I have like bad associations with it, so I can't even. Right? I'll be 47 next month. I still haven't eaten a steak since I was like 10. Like,
You know what we found out later, Maya? My body did not like the liver because the only way I could eat liver was if it was fresh, like the animal was killed that day or within 24 hours. And
raw
Mom would buy
liver.
liver at the store
Ew.
that had been sitting there forever. So if you cooked it up and it had been sitting forever, it would make me sick, and I would vomit all the time. And she thought I was faking it.
yeah.
So she finally figured out I wasn't faking it. So I got liver pills after that and a hamburger. And my brothers were so pissed off that I got a hamburger on liver night. And they did. They were really pissed off about it. I want a liver pill, Mom. No, it's not the same. You're fine. Eat your liver.
Hey, Joe, you talk about your sauce thing, your Worcestershire sauce. My family grew up in a better part of the UK, and so we always had Worcestershire sauce.
Nice.
Oh boy.
Oh, shut up, Marty.
I didn't say anything. I said, oh boy. I didn't hate on
See,
your
now it's
joke.
not just me calling you out on your shit, Jenny. Marty's doing it now, too.
I didn't even call her out. I just said, oh boy. I could have said a lot
You
worse.
could hear it in her voice
That
too.
is
It
calling
was
her
like,
out.
here we
Marty-
fucking go.
Too much.
Marty, your comic timing is perfect.
Thank you.
Get my
Well,
shit boots
when I
on.
was a kid, I wanted to be a comic. That's what I wanted to do.
We rehearsed that joke for like a week.
And it paid off, ladies. It paid off.
This,
Thanks.
of course. That would be
It
great.
paid off. Yeah, that's exactly what I just said, Michael. I would get the cold liver the next morning on the same fucking plate. Mom would put plastic over top of it, or saran wrap, whatever they called it back then. And I'd get it the next morning. Everybody else was getting fresh pancakes with syrup on it and butter, and it smelled all yummy. And I'd come down all excited because I'd forget about the liver. And it would be and I go back in the bathroom and get rid of it again. And
That's what I used to spit it in
eventually,
the-
one time, Mom actually left her seat because she was like, "This is getting excessive," and walked into the bathroom and actually saw me physically vomit. And then she said, "Oh, you're not kidding. This is really making you." And I'm like, "I'm not kidding, Mom." And I never had to eat it again.
I wish.
But I did eat it once as a teenager and I was fine. And I ate it again once as an adult and I was fine. And it was both of them were from Fresh Kills that day. So
I love liver.
I don't know.
Could also
hate
be maybe the gut bacteria changed from that time.
I mean, maybe, but a couple of years and I lived at the same house.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Hey, maybe I should start eating liver again because I keep being iron deficient. My doctor says.
Oh yeah,
I'm going tomorrow for my second round of infusions because she says
That's
I'm
why
so bad with iron.
Really?
I said, look,
Yeah,
just
that's
give
why
me-
my
just
mom
give me
used to
some
make us
nails
eat
and I'll
it.
swallow them. You know,
That's why she used to make us eat liver though, and she always found it cheap because, you know, people bought more liver at the store for fishing bait than they did to eat, so it was cheap where we lived. I don't know about where you live, but
Now I like fried liver like that. Those aren't bad. I like that. But,
yeah, oh god, it's disgusting. I'll never eat it again.
I
You can't make me.
make my liver like a country fried steak.
yeah.
Yeah.
People eat possums and raccoons here though, so like, you know, liver ain't shit.
You know, I think my mom everything she made was delicious. I think she just didn't cook liver right, honestly.
Yeah.
Like everything she did was oh my god, best fucking cook in the world. But her liver was just nasty. But maybe it was a mix of the liver and how she fried it. But to me, it was like dry and hard, and I didn't like it.
How come nobody eats like spleen or pancreas?
Yeah, they do.
You know,
Depends on where you live.
Oh, sweetbreads.
Yeah.
Uh,
I used to eat sweetbreads growing up. Cow tongue too. Cow tongue's the best goddamn softest meat on the entire fucking cow. You'll not
that's
find
yeah,
anything
people-
else like it.
people eat possums here, Maya. Some people do. Not everybody, but I know of people that eat possums.
Hey Joe, how do you like
Yeah.
your squirrel?
What is it?
How do you like squirrel?
I like it fried.
I like scampied.
Yeah.
I've had it.
Nobody
in
out
stew.
here eats squirrel.
Wait,
I like it fried.
You can scampi anything. Squirrel meat is such tiny little bits.
Yeah.
You would
I
squirrel?
like it. I like it fried with a little bit of like Zatarans mixed in some flour and fried up like well done, because as a scampi it would probably work out good because it's a little bit greasy, squirrel meat is. And
Yeah, but it'll absorb the flavor of whatever you cook it with, and
yeah,
that's
no, it's
magical.
delicious.
Yeah.
See, and that's
Yeah,
what the
yeah,
guy
turtle.
when I ate it when I was a kid, the guy made a stew and their last name was Dennison and he called it Dennison stew and it was their dad, my friend's dad. And I was
Yeah.
over there playing and he said, "You want to stay for dinner?" And I called my mom. She gave me the go ahead and I got down to the last 2 bites and I had like some lettuce and carrot and little pieces of chicken left, right? And he goes, "How you like that?" And I said, "Oh, Mr. Dennison, this is delicious. You know, thank you," which I would have said anyways, but it really was. It was really good. Like he cooked it really
Maya?
like long and slow.
Maya,
And
I'm sorry.
yeah, thank you. And he goes, "That's squirrel." And I said, "Oh." And I looked down at the last bite and I was like, "Yeah, fuck, it ain't killed me yet." So I finished it.
Oh,
It was good though, man.
Jenny, since you're saying you have iron deficiency, a few things you can add to your diet or increase have lentils for beans. You can have
I already
spinach,
have those.
baked potato. You can add
have that.
for fruit. You try apricots. You can also have dark chocolate has iron
Yeah,
content
I
in
have
it as
that
well.
too.
Yeah.
I love dark
So,
chocolate.
A few things, just a few suggestions for diet.
Well, I'm
Oh,
gonna talk to Slim Cyberg about what kind of metal I can swallow.
I always like taking deer meat and making sloppy doughs.
And Maya, no, we're not kidding. People really do eat squirrel. It's tasty. It's really no different than like rabbit, except with rabbits you get those nice crispy ears out of the fryer.
Squirrel's one meat I don't think I've tried, though I do know people who have eaten it.
You haven't lived until you pick buckshot out of a squirrel.
I don't know if I'd go
Or found it while you're eating it.
Yeah,
don't know,
see, I save myself that trouble. I just go to the park, befriend them over a couple of weeks, and then hit them with a bat. You know.
I thought you were supposed to use a trap on. I thought you were supposed to use a trap on a squirrel to catch him instead of shooting him.
That guy, Mr. Dennison, that motherfucker was so good of a shot. He had a 22, and he would pop him in the head with 22s on his property, and that's it. He fed his family for years with squirrel when they were starving and times were hard and the farm wasn't doing good. People weren't buying shit, and his family survived off the squirrel.
If you're a good shot, a 22 is a good way to get them, but you have to hit them in the head because it just.
Oh yeah, no, it's all headshots. Yeah,
yeah.
You'll just destroy the meat with
snapping
any
turtle
other,
is something
else.
we eat common here. You guys ever tried snapping turtle?
Never tried.
Oh yes, turtle. They ate snapping turtle too. Yeah.
Yeah, that is.
I've never
snapping turtle is good, really good.
Really? Well, come on, harvest some up here. We got way too many.
I have had alligator.
Yeah,
that's pretty good.
Alligator really does taste like chicken.
Literally tastes like...
Alligator's good.
Yeah, very good. Had it in Gatorland Zoo in Florida.
Yeah.
We should harvest gators. You know, Florida has such a problem with people getting eaten and stuff, and fifis getting eaten.
Start eating back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, fuck those guys.
Eat your predator, damn it. That's what I say.
Eat or be eaten.
Yeah, don't be the prey, be the predator. Eat that motherfucker. Or just fucking shoot him in the head. Whatever.
Well,
not a vegan channel here, huh?
We're not far from Soylent Green, folks.
I'm vegan, but not because I'm forced, not because I love meat. And I really miss chicken and eggs. I actually found a plant-based egg that's pretty good. I haven't eaten it by itself, but I mixed it in with one of those Impossible burgers. Use it kind of like a steak, and I fried it up and got it crispy.
I like
and
the
chopped it up.
Morningstar veggie burgers with the spicy bean ones.
Yeah, it's just all black beans. I'm not big on. I mean, I like black beans, but not in that form. It's too dry for me. The Impossible burgers. The Impossible burgers are the best.
Yeah, but I like a lot of weird shit anyway. So
I had this big bag of beans as baked beans with black beans mixed into it, and they had some onion mixed into it too. I think there's something else in there too, but I'm not sure. But it was really good.
Yeah. One of my friends got Lyme disease and had to pretty much give up red meat, and that sucks. That's a horrible thing to go through, Lyme disease.
Yeah,
I've seen. I've met people.
I had a cousin who had Lyme disease, and they messed with their heads. It was almost like they had dementia or Alzheimer's. And then her brother, another one of my cousins, and he was vegan, but he actually had problems with the diet, and he actually had to go back to eating meat.
Yeah,
she
developed an allergy to red meat.
I'm pretty much vegan now, but I don't have to eat more than one vegetarian a month, really. Isn't that what vegan is? Did I misunderstand something?
No, it's if you're from the planet from the Vega star system.
Yes. Hey, Vega may actually have a civilization. We're hoping James Webb can get us some cool photos like it has been of other stuff.
Oh, really?
We detected a possible megastructure orbiting Vega several years ago.
I had not heard about this. I thought the system was too young.
Aren't they looking at Proxima Centauri also? Haven't they seen some odd things there?
I haven't heard about odd things, but I mean, the whole Centauri system is very, very close. Another good possibility is maybe the trapped system that everybody's heard about with the red dwarf with the planets in so damn close. I think it's the 4th or 5th planet that isn't tidally locked. So maybe the Gliese, I think Gliese 877 is the most likely because we've seen a planet go by that has water in its atmosphere?
Yeah.
There's a bunch.
Yeah. They've exoplanets have taught us so much about, like, we thought that the conditions had to be just like they are here, and we found a lot of exoplanets that are at least seem to be capable of supporting life and stuff. In different places.
Yeah, the big question is whether life can start on these planets. So much,
Of
the
course.
different conditions.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah,
kind of
no,
one thing we need to work out.
I mean, I think even just finding the proteins necessary for life is just an amazing discovery, and finding them on asteroids and in the atmospheres of other places and stuff. I think that's just neat because there is a probability that life will start. So it's neat to think about.
Yeah, we found all 5 nucleobases on asteroids. We found ribose. We found something like 80% of all the amino acids.
They're
if
everywhere.
that stuff can form in space, it
Yeah.
can definitely form on a planet that is helpful towards the development of life.
Yeah.
Of course, there's not a hope in hell that any of us or any of our future people will ever see these places, even if they
Right.
travel at the speed of light.
Well, not necessarily.
Wormhole technology.
Well, not even necessarily that. Like, say you wanted to go to Alpha Centauri, it's 4.3 light years away.
Yeah.
If you could get a spaceship up to half of light speed, it would take you 8 years from your perspective, 12 years from Earth's perspective.
Yeah.
That's doable if you can stay alive that long in a spaceship in between the stars.
Yeah, we got a
Or-
long way to go to get there, but
It's not unthinkable. Sorry, I just took my HRT and it's flipping around in my mouth. There's a number of possible ways. What?
Thanks for reminding me.
Oh yeah.
Mine's not till Wednesday now.
I'm on
Fucking
pills twice
pharmacy.
daily. Sublingual because it's more fun that way.
I think it's I think the crazy thing is when you think about how long it takes to get there, you have to spend exactly half the time accelerating, and then as soon as you accelerate to top speed, you have to start slowing down.
Well, actually,
Well,
the
you
thing
could.
the thing I was thinking with that is if we could actually develop the the warp drive, if you still might not be able to get up to actually going faster than the speed of light with that kind of system, but you actually get near speed, and you won't have to deal with time dilation and speeding up and slowing down and all that.
I think
Well,
Star
it
Trek
depends
got
on
it
the
right.
warp drive. Like if you have that electromagnetic drive system that warps space ahead of and behind your spaceship, if that actually works, and NASA's been testing it for years,
Yeah.
that means you aren't actually accelerating. So you
Right.
could, from a certain point of view, actually go faster than the speed of light.
So
Well,
I have a frame of reference riddle for you. So if you were able to like be I don't know, I'm going to use the word objectively, but it may be wrong here. If you were able to objectively stand still while space expands around you, you would actually move at the speed of light, right? Because if you stood still in all frames, you would actually be able to move across space at the speed of light as it expands underneath you.
Well, from a certain point of view, yeah. There's this cool thing that I don't know if there's a better official name for it, but I'd like to call it the time-space constant, which is this principle that as you move faster through space, you move slower through time, such
Right.
that you're effectively always moving at the speed of light, just sometimes it's faster through space and other times it's faster through time.
Right.
That's why time slows down as you move faster. And if you were able to hold completely still,
You would be
say
stationary in
the
time.
time dimension, then
Yeah.
you would be moving at the speed of light through the spatial dimensions. That's exactly what happens to photons. They don't experience time because they're moving at
Isn't
100%
that
of the
neat?
speed of light.
They're absorbed the instant they leave. Like if they escape a star, the instant that they leave at the speed of light, they're absorbed from their perspective. So there is no time passage from billions of light years away from the perspective of the photon. It's instant.
There was
I
also
have
one.
yet to hear an astronomer, physicist, whoever, explain to me how is it that a fucking photon, this itty bitty fucking particle, that's confused and it doesn't know if it's a wave or a particle. How do they fucking travel for hundreds of light years and hit our eye? I mean, how many photons had to be produced, first of all, that are going off in every direction from this globular star?
One.
And how does it get here without deteriorating, without
Oh,
falling
it does
apart?
Without running
deteriorate.
into something else.
It's an inverse square law kind of thing. If you start, at Earth, you get the sun is X brightness, whatever, because that's the amount of photons that are reaching your eyeball. If you have the distance, the sun will be 4 times brighter because the photons haven't been able to spread out as much. We just call them photons to make our maths and models easier. For most intents and purposes, they are actually waves. And they do spread out just like waves do, except in 3 dimensions instead of 2 dimensions like on the surface of water.
Yeah.
And there's also other issues with the whole warping space, where you're basically standing still and the space is moving around you. First of all, if you actually do accelerate, take it where you're actually going faster than the speed of light, or at the speed of light, the warp bubble inside of it basically gets irradiated and you fry everybody inside. Right?
Well-
So that's one problem with it. Another problem is it basically collects all the space debris and dust and stuff ahead of the thing. So once you stop, that basically creates like a sort of like a rail gun effect and shoots all that out. One way we've worked around that, and I've heard was basically you do a lot of short stops and starts. So basically you're moving the ship at a very slow speed, and you're just turning the bubble on and off repeatedly, so you don't get that buildup.
Well, like, because of the relationship between time and space, if you're standing still in time, then you must be moving through space. They're because it is space-time, it is the same thing. So
I think that might be one area where our equations start to hit a wall, because
yeah.
if you are standing still in time and moving through space, how the concept of movement doesn't make sense.
Yeah, it's
if
not.
There's
That's
no
why I'm
time.
saying you would be standing perfectly still in all frames, but you would actually be moving at the speed of light. But I guess
it gets
that's
weird
why
at the extremes.
I guess that's why, from the photonics perspective, that they're absorbed instantly because of that same issue, because they're not moving through time.
Yeah, from their point of view, they never exist.
Yeah. It's really neat to think about. Excellent source. Death by Black Hole.
I haven't read that one yet.
It's a good one. It's really fun.
Yeah.
Spaghettification.
Cool shit. Yeah.
When Joe laughs like that, I start getting worried.
Mwah.
Now, if we can just do the same thing with Republicans.
Yeah.
What would happen to the body moving at that speed?
piece of
That's the
dust
brilliant
would kill
thing of
you.
relativity. You can feel acceleration. Like right now, you're being accelerated by the Earth's gravity at 9.8 meters per second squared. But if you're on a spaceship, if it's accelerating at 9.8 meters per second squared, it'll feel like 1 Earth gravity. And you can just keep doing that until you get right up around the speed of light.
Yeah.
Once you turn the engine off and stop accelerating, refall, baby.
Yeah. Which is what we experience as like 0G. The astronauts in the space station, they're not actually floating, they're falling. They're constantly falling around the curve of the Earth. So neat to think about how it actually works. Like we replace a lot of those things, like saying, "Oh, there's no gravity in space" and all that. But when you really get into it, it's
not
far more
actually
neat.
true. It's the falling effect. There's no gravity in orbit because of the free fall effect.
Right.
But once you get away from a gravity well, though, it's just microgravity. Like if you were at the moon distance away from the Earth, but not where the moon is, you'd experience so little gravity from the Earth that you could almost completely ignore it.
Yeah, but you would be creating gravity too because you have mass.
I'd have to gain a lot of weight to
Microgravity.
be massive enough to make a difference.
Oh no, you wouldn't make a difference. I'm just saying you can't be present in a place where gravity doesn't exist.
Right. Anywhere there's mass, including
Yeah.
yourself, there's gravity. That's what kind of fucks us on the speed of light thing.
Yeah.
If we could just
Shut the fuck
make
up.
ourselves net mass 0.
Oh no.
How the fuck? Are you kidding me? Like, that never happens to somebody I know.
My
I'm a
ex,
common white dude.
Holy fuck.
a few years ago, they set that bitch on fire. They used it to commit whatever crime they were going to use. Put it in a parking lot, set it up in fire. You got a brand new car out of it because for the with the insurance claim and stuff. But yeah, I've seen it stolen.
Son of a bitch.
Damn,
Yeah.
brother. That
I mean,
sucks.
hopefully
what
it
kind of
works
car
out.
was it?
Turns into a blessing in disguise, as the theists say.
Yeah. It was weird because he came home from work and he saw somebody, like a pickup truck, a guy hanging out a window and like clicking a button, and he heard other car alarms go off. And I was like, you should call that in because that's probably going to be bad. He's like, well, I don't know if that's what they're doing, but it looked like that's what they're doing. I'm like, dude, call it in. Like, if you got a plate number or at least a description of the truck, blah, blah, blah. And so he didn't. Then he got his car stolen. And I'm like, I told you should have fucking called it in. But
In my
There you
I
go.
thought about that
Get a
myself
fucking
when my
scooter.
car was borked. I heard about Kyle's cool electric bike, and I was like, it's only 35 miles to work. If I can get one with a long enough battery range, maybe I'll just
Yeah.
take an electric bicycle to
A
work.
really long extension cord.
Yes.
He said
electric motorcycle.
he said he's got that one up to 41 or 42.
Yeah.
That's
The,
pretty good. I mean, you can't go on the highway, but you can go on the side roads.
in
Just
my depths of my heroin addiction days, we used to go find a road like with cars parked on the side and just walk down the road with a window punch, pop windows and grab whatever out of the car and keep going. We would just do like a whole road at a time. Just whatever. There'd be car alarms going off and not recommended activities, just so you know.
No.
Yeah, for real.
That,
Well,
that-
friends, I've got to scoot. I'm starting my show early this time because I've got a long thing to review. So I will catch you
Okay.
later.
Okay, we'll
Good
be
to
there.
see
all
you,
day.
Amber.
Bye, Ember. Love you, sweetheart. Take care. And we will
Yeah.
all go over there after this. Go
Okay,
join her
Randy,
and-
KCA, Randy, what kind of car was stolen? What model and stuff?
Yeah. I have to take my hat off to Ember for a moment here because whenever I had the incident with the Atheist for Liberty douchebag, it caused a big stir up. And between talking with Ember, Stephanie, and Maya, we came up with a plan to let Ember do the interview before I said anything so that we could expose that. And Ember knocked that interview out of the park. It was amazing.
I know, and so
It was-
calm and level and polite
Yeah.
through the whole thing.
It was
I
really, really great.
I ended up asking that guy a bunch of questions on Twitter and DMs afterwards.
He still emails and sends me stuff on Discord. I haven't looked at any of it.
KCA said
definite-
he used to have an opiate addiction as well.
I
He's
feel
a
for you,
definite,
Randy.
he's a definite pick-me type person.
Yeah. He's
But he said he quit methadone in 2014, so 11
Oh,
years
yeah.
clean. It's pretty
Yeah.
good, brother.
Yeah.
It's fucking awesome.
My biological mother, they took her off of her methadone about a couple years or so ago, so she's completely clean. She's been on methadone since I was like in junior high, and
Yeah.
she's completely. She doesn't even need the methadone. Which is good.
2014 was
There's-
the year I got clean too.
There's a girl that my ex-brother knows, the asshole, and she was on so much heroin for so long that she can't even go off the methadone. She has
That's-
to take something for the rest of her life or it'll kill her.
That's what we thought was going to happen with my biological mother, but it turns out I don't think she was doing. I don't think she was doing heroin. She was doing something kind of close. That she had to be on the methadone, but I thought she was going to need to be on it forever, which I guess turned out to be wrong. So, but yeah, she's been off it for a few years.
One of the best success stories I've heard of is my kid's ex-girlfriend. She was born with a really fucked up back. She's got a cage in her back. She can't like bend her back or anything. She's just stuck in one position all the time. She had like 6 surgeries before she was 12 or something like that on her back, because as she was growing, they had to keep moving things and redoing metal and stuff. And so by the time she was an adult, I think it was at like 8, or no, she was like 16, 17. She was at like 8 surgeries or something. And she got addicted to opiates because she was in pain all the time. And unfortunately, she didn't know how to get off of them, because if she didn't take them, then she was in pain. So I'm addicted to them, but if I don't take them, I'm in pain. What do you do, right? So she eventually, she just does weed now. She was on methadone for a while. She got off methadone after like 3 or 4 years, I think. And she now works in a methadone clinic helping other people that have heroin addictions. So it's because she went to heroin after the opiates, of course.
Yeah.
That's the next step. Try and numb the pain, because
the
the opiates weren't doing it anymore. She couldn't get a hold of shit that was strong enough for her.
Yeah, right.
I had gotten damn lucky with my back. I have scoliosis, and it was hurting me, and they did X-rays, and after when the X-rays came back, the doctor was looking at them and told me like if the curvature was, we're gonna try a physical therapy to see if we can correct this. But if the curvature is any more, we'd have to do surgery.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I was damn lucky with that. I was able to get it mostly straightened out with the physical therapy, but I still have to do it, every day. Sometimes I don't. I start feeling it. Yeah, it helps. So it's, like I said, there's sometimes I don't do it every day like I'm supposed to, but when I don't, if I skip a few days, I do start feeling it. But
right on, Randy. That's how I feel about it.
I have a friend that is off of opiates unless she hurts herself. She doesn't take any pain pills anymore. She microdoses mushrooms, and she smokes weed. And she's learned to she's off of like 2 or 3 different meds now, just using mushrooms and weed. And she feels better, and the pain flare-ups aren't as bad, and all this stuff. So,
I can say that having an opiate addiction is one of the most horrible ways to live your life you can imagine. And it's it's a miracle for anyone. Yeah, I used the word miracle. It's a miracle for anyone that is able to escape it with their life, because it kills thousands of people every single day.
That happened to a friend of mine. They put him on some medications, opiate medication.
It's
he got addicted to it.
Yeah.
It's funny because my entire life I have known people that have been addicted to different things. I've known people that are like complete potheads and they just have to be stoned all the time. And I've met people that start drinking when they wake up in the morning. And, I've met all these different kinds of addicts, and it was always weird to me, and I could never figure out why, but it was always weird to me that I never got addicted to things like other people. Weed has been the only thing. Weed and cigarettes are the only 2 things that I've ever had like an addiction to. And the weed's a healthy addiction. It's really, I'm just medicating myself so I can sleep every night. Right. I don't have dreams when I get high and I go to sleep, and I don't dream, and I sleep like a fucking baby. So
I don't
if that's what has to do it. I got to miss dreams.
Yeah.
If you want to call that an addiction, then that's my addiction to weed. But I have now been off of cigarettes for a month.
Hell yeah.
And I've just been vaping, and I haven't even been vaping a lot. I'm probably going to save a couple $100 a month on buying vape juice versus cigarettes. And I found out last Saturday that my suspicions were true, and I am autistic, and I'm schizoid. So that's why I have problems being around people and dealing with people.
Schizoid.
Not very common, but yeah. So Yeah, I know they are, John, because they're readily available. You can get them everywhere. They are such an easy addiction. That's
I quit
why.
heroin and have failed to quit cigarettes many times.
But
I'm not
cigarettes are
addicted.
everywhere. You don't have to call a guy to get it. You can just walk into a store and buy some. It's why it's so easy to be addicted to them. Plus, you get the hand to mouth and picking them up and lighting it. It's like a rhythm you get into, and then it's a habit, and then you want to do it all the time, you know?
I
So
smoke
the
nonstop
vapes
when
are
I'm
just
sleeping.
saving me from that. Yeah. So
I've never-
That was one of the problems that my mom had. She wasn't just the actual nicotine addiction; it was actually the whole process of smoking. That she was she didn't have it where just she wouldn't she had to go through the whole process of holding the cigarette and all that to.
No, Mark, it would not be legal. I've done it anyways and turned in fake piss and gotten away with it so many times. But no, it's not legal. When I was a truck driver years ago was the only time I quit smoking pot. Like, I did not smoke any pot. I was totally fucking clean when I was a truck driver. And I did that for years because one of the reasons was I didn't want to lose my driver's license. I didn't want to have marijuana use on that because boy, you're talking about not getting a job again. You got to fight hard. You got to find some sleazy, shitty company with bad equipment, and you won't get a good paycheck, and it won't be worth it. You know, so you don't want to fuck up your CDL. If you fuck that up, it's like, I mean, it's bad. You know, it's connected
Never get another job.
federally. It's bad. Yeah. So I like to keep that clean. So for like, God, 6 years or something, I didn't smoke any pot at all. And then when I got out of the over the road shit and I started doing local again, I started smoking pot again because then I was barely driving. When I was a switcher, when I was the head switcher at that yard at Amazon, I didn't smoke then either because it was attached to my CDL. But as soon as I had a job that wasn't directly attached to it, I was fucking getting high again. But my point was the connection there was that I did not make. I failed to. Was that my autism causes me to be unemotional about a lot of things. And I think it's been a downfall for a lot of relationships I've had because someone else is like emotional or hurt and I don't get that. And I'm over here like laughing or like, do what, huh? Like nothing's wrong. And because I'm not getting what's going on with them. Like I'm not absorbing it right, or I'm not paying attention well, or whatever the fuck it is. But I know that's what fucked up my last relationship. So I maybe now knowing I'm going to tell her, like, I'm going to get a hold of her and be like, look, just so you know, I'm autistic. Like that wasn't me. It wasn't me being a crazy motherfucker. I'm not psychotic. I'm just autistic.
I have a question.
So,
yeah. What is the process for getting screened for autism? Like how did that go?
Yeah, good question, because I might need to check something like that out too.
Yeah.
What happened with me was I have been for 2 years now, I've had a claim in for disability because I can't work around people. I mean, I've lost, I think I'm on my 71st job, I think somewhere between 65 and 72. So, and I told the lady, I said, I'm not trying to go for a world's record, but pretty soon I'm just going to hit Guinness and just live off of that, right? I don't have to work.
I've got over 100.
So, well, see, you're the only person I know that's had more than me. But anyways, you should apply for Guinness. Anyway, so so I said, it's rinse and repeat, and I said I get a job, I'm positive. You can ask my friends. I'm like, oh, everybody seems great. This is a great job. I'll be independent doing this, blah, blah, blah. And then a couple weeks go in and things start going wrong. And then a couple more weeks and I'm starting to become bitter because people are saying shit and irritating me, or their actions or things they do at work are irritating me. And then I can't fucking take it. And it's like 3 months, I'm ready to fucking punch somebody. Like, that's where I'm at. If I make it to a year with a place, it's like, wow, your boss was really patient with you.
I've only had one job for longer than a year out of all those.
Basically, what you do is you speak to your primary care physician about if you think you're autistic. He can recommend you to a psychiatrist, a psychologist, or a neuro psychologist to get evaluated.
Well,
and it's a whole process.
So hold on. hold on, let me finish the rest of that. So I was talking to a lady and she goes, have you been diagnosed with, and we talked about what I was diagnosed with. And I told her, I don't think that's what's going on with me. I feel like I was misdiagnosed with ADHD. I think I'm autistic. And she goes, okay, well, have you been going to therapy? And I said, well, I'm actually taking a break. I told her all about when I lost my mind for 8.5 months, last year and all that. And then I got to find a new therapist. And then, so I said to her, the problem I have is that I work at a place 3 months later, I get insurance and then I lose my fucking job. And now I set up an appointment. So now I have to move that appointment. So I move it out like 3 or 4 months. So that way I can get another job and I'll have insurance again. And hopefully during the period that I have insurance, that date falls, because you can't get an appointment within a couple of weeks. You got to get it a couple months out. That's just life. That's life here. We don't have enough. We had 10 fucking doctors retire in 2022. 10 family practitioners, because they were like, fuck this COVID shit. And they just retired.
Yeah.
So there's no fucking doctors here.
Just to relate to what you're saying though, like, even though I had a job, I had several jobs waiting tables at different places, and I could do that and interact with people, but I go on like these, I'll do that for a while, a few months usually. And then I go on this binge to where like, I just can't, like, I have anxiety about having to deal with anyone. And it like to the point that I don't want to leave my bedroom or house. I don't want to, and like, it's
hard
I've
for me to
lost
set
many
up the
jobs
stream
because of
every
it.
Sunday. This is literally me coming on the stream. Once I'm here and I start interacting, I'm okay.
Yeah.
And I feel exhausted just creating the stream. And then I got to start streaming.
Yeah, we've talked about
And then
this.
I get up here and then I'm good. But it's hard for me every fucking week to do it. So last weekend, after having that mental evaluation with the state, because that's what the lady said, she goes, well, I can get you a mental evaluation with the state. Would you like that? And I said, yes. And she said, and do you want it in person or telephone? I said, oh, no, in person. I'm not missing no telephone fucking video shit. And so I went down there and talked to the lady. She was really nice. She agreed with everything that I said and that my therapist before her said. As far as like my therapist said, I think you might be schizoid, which is not common, but you might be. And I told her that, and she said, yep, I'd agree with that. That you totally fall into that. And so she wasn't supposed to give me a diagnosis, but she said she'd write up the paperwork and everything and turn it in. So she should be turning it in by this weekend.
Yeah.
So now I'm just waiting to see what she says. But yeah, she told me without telling me. She didn't. I just kept. I say, well, I have problems with this, and she'd say, yes, all autistic people do. And she said that like 8 times.
Some days I have a
problem with this. Yes, all autistic people do, and she'd just look at me like, I'm telling you, you're hearing me, right?
Yeah. It's kind of like how when we were doing those autism streams, like you're like sitting there just nodding your head to everything we were talking about. That's me.
Yeah. And Kyle and I, like over the last like 8 months to a year, Kyle and I have been talking about and he'll catch me doing things. He catches me like stimming in different ways all the time. He catches me making like, and I see things like I'm really literal. And I'm OCD, and she was saying that's all connected to my autism. Yeah. Damn. And autism already runs in my family. Why wouldn't I have it? Like I have all the fucking symptoms. So, I mean, out of 7 kids, you can't tell me just one got it, right?
Yeah.
It's not so much having it as being it.
Right.
I have great anxiety every week setting up my stream, and also the hour before it starts. Was like, yes, yeah. Then I feel good because I'm hanging out with my friends and I'm cool. But yeah,
that's how I do too. Like, I sometimes don't want to do it, but then once I get going, I'm fine. But like, it's but YouTube has been great for my mental health tremendously. It's benefited me in a lot of ways. It's actually changed a lot about how I behave in day-to-day life even.
Oh my God, so much. It has taught me so much socially that I was doing wrong and I didn't know because of that autistic part of, oh, this isn't okay for society. Like the lady was saying, no, Beck. People don't really want you to be honest. That doesn't work in today's society. Not here. So yeah, you're causing enemies. I'm like, but I can't stop it. I don't know how to not fucking be honest. So how do I stop that? She's like, I don't know, but I'm telling you, people don't like that.
Well, if you start going to church, you'll hear more lies, and you'll get much better at it.
Take notes.
Thank you, Miss Jenny. I will
Hey,
write that
Skitsy.
suggestion down for future conference.
Take me to church.
Is there anybody on the panel who likes llamas and thinks they're cute? I do.
Yes.
I don't dislike llamas. But I don't.
On public television, they have this veterinary show from UK, and they just helped birth a llama birth a baby. It was so cute.
Aw.
Oh, just think of a little miniature llama. That's what they look like.
Yeah, but
You know, it's not, Beck, don't get me wrong. It's not that I really don't care what people think of me. And I've had this condition for a long time, and it's probably saved me in a lot of situations. When I was 37, when I was 28, and then when I was 37, I had two big like revelations in my life. And when I was 37, when that one happened, like everything was totally fucking different. And I realized those people that are assholes that piss me off that I let piss me off every day, because I let them, I'm giving them power over me, that I let piss me off every day, they go home at night and they lay their head down and they don't lose any sleep over me. What the fuck am I worried about them for? Fuck them. Fuck them. Fuck them all.
oh, and Jenny, do you also like llama beans?
No, I eat lima beans though. Yeah, but I never really liked Fernando Lamas. So
I'll have you know, Mark Caesar, we used to joke around and sing this when we were kids. Shit would get crazy in the house, and then when everything was calmed down, everybody was done fighting, we would like dance around singing this, like hugging ourselves. Yes,
They're
because
coming to
our
take
fucking
me
house
away.
was a
Ha
crazy
ha.
house.
They're coming to take me
They're
away.
coming to take me away. Hee hee. Ho ho. Hey hey.
Yeah.
Dr. Demento.
to the funny farm where
Yeah.
life is gay.
Yeah, life is gay.
Porpoise, you're on the
The
screen.
rooms are padded in white.
Yeah, you're not backstage.
No. Those are lima beans, not llama beans.
Llama beans.
I said lima beans. I eat lima beans.
I know.
I eat
Tubian said llama
succotash.
beans.
I like to eat
Llama's gonna spit in
succotash
your
too.
face, yo. Felt
Does
like a
everybody know
rapper
what
for a
succotash
second.
is?
Succotash is corn and potatoes, and depends on how you make it. I've had it a couple different ways. I've had it corn. The musts are corn and lima beans,
Yep.
and then you can also add in like potatoes or pasta or some kind of like heavy starch.
Oh, I don't think that's allowed. I'm sorry.
I like a good shepherd's pie. Although I don't like it with corn.
Yeah. I like meat.
Yeah, the meat, potatoes, the cheese, and maybe
Suffering
green bean in there.
succotash.
Fluffing succotash.
That was a good one.
I can't do it. I can't do it. My brain doesn't work
Who
like that.
is destroying their house?
Who's building a new house?
Orpus is like tearing down the house,
Tear that shit up.
burning down the house. I like food too.
Yeah.
I like food too. I miss
Oh man.
Come on.
things. I miss meat. I go one of the Smiths I shop at is right next to Chick-fil-A. So I'll go after work and they're in the middle of rotisserie chickening food for people, and then Chick-fil-A's right next to it cooking, and their line's full and they're cooking all this fucking chicken, and I'm just like walking and just drooling to go over and get my vegetables. Arrgh. So sometimes I go out of my way to go home to go to the other Smiths where I only have to deal with their rotisserie chicken and not the Chick-fil-A and the Wex restaurant and the fucking burrito place on top of it. Jesus Christ. It smells so good. Oh,
All right.
succotash.
Now that the speakers have stopped
Succotash.
dropping on the floor,
Okay.
can everyone hear me?
Yeah.
Yes, we
No,
heard everything.
Not at all.
Were you dealing with a poltergeist?
No, the speakers are just
Did you win?
get tangled very easily.
Did you
I
win?
mean, really, that's the important
Again,
question. Did you
no.
win, or are we speaking to the poltergeist right now?
There is no poltergeist here.
Well,
Good.
you ghost,
gave it to one of us,
trap,
didn't you?
Can you prove it?
some
Can you prove there's no
proton pack,
poltergeist? Yeah.
proton pack, ghost trap. You're good.
If you're really the sinister porpoise, what do you say before you leave every stream?
Knew it.
Uh-oh.
Imposter.
Oh,
I think we have a
Be
double
excellent to each other, and so long, and thanks for all the fish.
Damn. Yep, it's porpoise.
Okay. Hey, I saw this. We got a bunch of smart people here now. Finally, the porpoises showed up. We've raised our IQ over 100.
I think you give me too much
Fuck
credit.
off.
I saw this this thing on. Oh God, it was. I don't know what show. It doesn't matter what fucking show it is. A guy is picking up a small shark that's got hung up on the beach, and he's going to go put it back out into the ocean. And I couldn't tell what kind of shark it was. I saw you saw the face and the mouth, so you're sure it's a shark and the shape of the head. But its dorsal fins were much longer than I'm used to seeing on a shark, and it didn't have a forked, spiky tail. It was just like a long, thin, flattened rope.
Like a thresher shark, maybe?
I don't know. I have no clue.
I'd have to see a picture.
Yeah.
Let's see. No, I don't know. I don't know anything else to substitute with.
So, do we have any ichthyologists here who are experts in shark anatomy?
Funny you should mention. When I was a kid, I was absolutely enthralled with sharks to the point where at like 5 years old, I knew the binomial nomenclature of the great white, like Carcharodon, Carcharias. So I was like a super nerd when it came to sharks, but I have since lost that knowledge.
Well, that's neat still. You still retain some of it.
Oh yeah,
Well, hello
the key
back to you,
points.
Aaron.
I know that bull sharks have the highest level of testosterone of any animal on the planet.
That's very true.
How'd you know that's what they call me in bed?
Damn.
That's just,
You know, I'm so full of shit. Blankets get laid on more than I do. Anyways,
You got to be something.
I've been single for 3 years, almost 3 years. 3 years in June. It'll be 3 years in June.
I've made it to 2 years and 2 months. So
I'm
actually,
almost
no.
to 10 years.
I'm talking.
2 years and 3 months. No, we're talking about
with.
without sex, not in a relationship, asshole. Shut up.
Oh, yeah, right.
I've been single for 3 years.
I can beat that. I've gone 44 years and 11 months.
What?
I've gone 44 years and 11 months.
Wow.
The
I've
rest of
been,
us can just shut up.
I've been with my girlfriend and baby's mama for going on 12 years, and we went like over a year and a half and didn't have sex, sleeping in the same bed together. But there's also a child that infiltrated my bed at some point, so that kind of became an issue.
Oh, I'm sorry, Perps.
Oh.
That sucks.
Yeah, I have a feeling I'm gonna end up solo forever. I've accepted it. I'm okay with it.
Yeah.
I was thinking that too. I just gotta find the right girl because I don't know if I trust men to date again. No offense, but
Oh.
No, none taken.
no offense. Yeah, no offense to the guys in the house.
Well,
Mark, I stopped counting days and hours because it's just not. It just doesn't matter anymore.
all right.
Porpoise comes in waving a flag of solidarity or something.
Oh, I'm gonna be single, probably just out of not trusting relationship.
You're muted, Porp. You're muted.
Yeah,
I'm
you're
not
muted.
saying anything.
Oh, I
That-
thought you were.
Oh, well,
I saw
that
your mouth
explains why
moving.
we couldn't hear you.
That's the flag that was captured in the war we heard going on.
Yeah.
Poltergeists have flags?
No
Yeah.
doubt.
Didn't know poltergeists were asexual.
I'm not asexual. But I just can't with men. And chicks I meet on Tinder, I don't even meet them. I talk to them for a minute, and then they just ghost me for some reason. And I'm like, all right, well, then what's the point of being on a fucking dating app if you're not going to continue to talk to me or meet?
Marty, I told you, you're doing it wrong. You need to find somebody that's in the middle of that. There's a gray area. It's called trans guys.
That might be. I won't. I guess I would be. I'm bisexual, I guess, because trans men are men and trans women are women. So there's, you know what I mean? Like, I don't. Actually, I'm talking to a trans chick right now. So I have no issue with that. But don't talk to me for a minute and then
Marty already making moves.
I'm, like I said, it'll be 3 years in June.
Speaking of rather obvious flirting, where's Blessed Be He tonight?
Who cares?
Oh, is he not here?
Shh, why did you know? Don't.
You did.
It's been so quiet. Damn it. I need a break now.
Blessed
Listen.
be he.
I'll show something to show you that she's not going to show up just because her name is mentioned 3 times.
Blessed,
Blessed be he,
blessed be
blessed
he.
be he, blessed be he.
Oh no.
Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice, Beetlejuice.
Wes did that, damn it. I haven't seen her in a minute. She's been around in a minute. Are you hiding? What are you doing?
Folks, since we brought up this topic, I'm going to fill you in on another little secret. The last Sunday of the month, I always pick the day instead of the number day, but it's the last Sunday of the month, is my Traniversary. Isn't that a clever word? It'll be officially 45 years since I came out, and 30 years since I had surgery. So it's a 45-30 Traniversary.
Good for you.
Nice. Congrats.
Jealous. Probably never have surgery.
Yeah, I love listening to these trans haters that think they're so damn smart, and they're well, I'm in my 20s, man. Oh yeah, you know so much.
Yeah, the world experience here is just overwhelming. Yeah, I know, Mark. There's like so many times.
28.
Yeah, you're pretty wise for 28. There's been so many times that I've looked back on a situation because every time I talk to anybody, I run it through my head 20 times after I have the discussion, right? It's just what I do. And if the discussion was important, I try to keep it. And if it wasn't, I just kind of let it go and I forget about it. I'm done working it out. I'm done thinking about it. But I do that a lot, and I'll walk away, and 5-10 minutes later, I kind of go, oh, man, I think that chick was flirting with me. And then it's gone. The opportunity's gone. I'll never see that person again. That's it.
Yep. That's how that works.
And how many times, Kyle, have I come home and called you and said, man, I think this chick was flirting with me like 2 hours ago at the speed.
I don't know, man. It's been at least like 3 hours since you told me.
Yeah. It's just ridiculous. And then I'm like, well, I just missed that opportunity.
Yeah.
I have no idea because I'm such a dumbass that I don't get flirted with often. So when I do get flirted with, I'm like, oh.
Oh, were you flirting with me?
I honestly actually can't tell, so I don't know.
Yeah, me neither. I have no idea.
Oh, I saw a new insect in my garden today.
Did you?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, I'll show you. This is what I saw. If that gets off, wants to show the screen. Wait for that.
Hey, Naka, check your Twitter.
What?
Yeah, right. Where are you just here?
Yeah.
What's going on, Doc?
I got an image to show you here.
Hit it harder,
You pull up
Purpose. Hit
there.
it harder.
Oh, I didn't see it. I was
not dead
I was on
yet.
the lower
Yeah, there
side.
you go.
Ooh,
Oh,
what's
neat.
that?
This is what I saw in my garden today.
Whoa.
He's an eastern-eyed click beetle.
Neat.
Apparently,
How did it taste?
Damn,
I didn't eat him, but the thing was at least 2 inches long. It was
Wow.
it was in my leaf mold bin.
That's what she said.
Yeah.
At least.
Big beetle. And apparently, this thing eats other harmful insects to my garden, so it's a good thing to have around.
Cool.
My favorite beetle was George.
Yeah, I feel you, Aaron.
Somebody
That was great.
George.
fucking laughed.
That took me entirely too long.
I know. Geez, that was an easy one. I softballed that one in.
I was trying to think of like, wait, there's a beetle called George. I'm like,
Well, if we still have Bree in the chat out there, there's one for her collection.
man.
Shit. I don't think I have you anywhere else, man. Damn it. Okay, hold on. Grab it quick, motherfucker, because I'm going to delete it in like 2 minutes.
Was your favorite monkey Mickey?
Mickey Monkey?
Wait, what?
Mickey Dolenz.
Oh, that monkey. No. My number one favorite was Michael Nesmith, and then after that, Davy Jones, and then Peter Tork, and the fuzzy head one with no brain is on the bottom of the list.
Wow. Thanks for that. Oh, never mind.
Let's see, it seems the larvae will feed on wireworms and wood-boring beetles. The adults don't generally eat that much, but they will occasionally eat stuff.
We should get those up here so they can eat these damn
Naka.
ash killing beetles.
Hey, what's up?
Actually, I believe they are in your area.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, looking at the map here.
Oh.
Well,
then they're falling down on their job. Yep, we're
See?
definitely in that.
Yeah.
in the red. It's their territory.
See that Minnesota there? If you draw just a little itty bitty square at the very southeast corner, that's my county.
Yeah.
Well,
I've never seen one of these beetles before in my area, so it was really interesting to see this huge, very decorative looking beetles sitting in a pile of leaves.
Do they come in like green and yellow or blue or anything cool, or just black and white?
I don't know.
Maybe we should get Bree in and ask her.
Maybe they're an antique beetle.
There might be other species that come in different colors.
I like
that's
seeing
not-
those metallic beetles.
Because these aren't the kind of bugs I specialize in.
Shit, you don't have to tell me, John. Look, I had a discussion with my therapist about this. So at my age and above, and it only gets worse as you get older than me. So from 50s, early 50s and up, the amount of people that are dateable and not too crazy or have too much baggage to get into a relationship is 15%. Okay. So now out of that 15%, you have to remove the people that won't date someone that's trans. Okay. And then you got to remove the people that won't date people that are autistic. Throw that out. So, and then people that have PTSD, throw that out. So I'm down to like 3% of the population.
yeah.
And then
The
you add
United
on-
States as a
then you add on
whole,
to
not
it,
where I
how many-
live.
How many have died because they're too old, and then that's my percentage.
I was 47 in June. I'm 47 in June, and I can't have kids. So I'm not really what anybody's looking for right now. You
That's
know,
not true.
I don't have I don't cook for shit. I cook enough to survive, but that's about it.
You're too young for me. Sorry.
It's
I'll be 47.
Everybody on Earth is too young for me. It seems. God
You-
damn it.
You're so old, Marty.
I
So
know,
old.
because I'm 2 months older than you guys. What's going on, dude? Where have you been?
Oh, I moved and I got laid off, so I've been working for a new job or looking for a new job, so I've been busy.
nice.
How stings aside from getting laid off?
Yeah, it sucked.
No, don't worry. After you get to like job 70, or not even before that, by the time you get to like job 60, the application process is so easy. You can do it with like one eye closed with the joint hanging out of your mouth while you're jerking off. Just don't worry. You'll get sued.
That's pretty much where I'm at. It feels
I just
like.
write my name on it and give it back.
Yeah.
Here's my fucking resume, asshole. No.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Write NA on the
Leave
back.
me
real
alone.
big.
Now hire me.
Just
Hey, I
write big-
actually stole a job one
yeah,
time.
yeah, just write big NA across the whole thing.
I got a job I wasn't hired for once. I walked in. They opened a Boston Beanery, and I walked in to get an application, and they were doing orientation with a group of people and passing out all the papers and stuff. So I just went in and sat down and filled out all my tax papers and started working. And they fired me a month later for not being hired.
That's the lick.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
You're like,
So I'm
oh,
like-
orientation. I need a job.
Right.
Just sat down.
I'm just gonna go place to place until I find an orientation.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I
We're
think they
doing
usually
open
start around 9
orientation
a.m.
today.
at any given place. And it's always
Yeah.
the big conference room in that place. That's where they do
Yeah.
it.
What
Or
had
if it's a restaurant, they do it in the restaurant.
Yeah, it hadn't opened yet, so they had one side they were doing it, and I just went over there and sat down and said I didn't get a folder, and they gave me a folder with all the tax papers, and I filled it out, and they put it in the computer. So somebody told on me though, because I was a good server and I was like kicking ass, and they got jealous and told them that I didn't really get hired, so they fired me from the job I didn't have.
Oh my god, that's hilarious. I'm surprised they didn't like fire the other person for running their mouth. I would have fired the other person for being a fucking
Yeah, no
snitch
shit.
and not having
Yeah.
your like coworkers back, and then I would have fucking like reprimanded you and dropped your pay by like 10 cents for like a couple months, and then
I only made
Just said,
$2
"Fuck
an
it."
hour anyway.
It was only made
right.
13
See, there you go.
Yeah.
That's like servers across the board. You only make $2.13 an hour.
Yeah.
I totally disagree with
Yeah.
how that works.
Oh, I know.
Yeah,
You live
it's
off their
disgusting.
shit.
Yeah,
I
it's
never even got a
archaic.
paycheck. My paychecks were always zero.
Yeah, you can work 100 hours.
Yeah.
Paycheck be like $2-3. You make all your money in tips,
Yeah.
which is fucking
You try not to get allocated.
just fucking ridiculous.
Well, I always did the math problem at the end of the night. Like, what do I have to claim in tips to make me come in right at minimum wage for the hours I worked? And that's what I would claim.
So you're supposed to claim 100% of all of your tips.
Yeah, right.
You fucking did that.
Legally, you only have to claim 10%.
Yeah.
10% of your sales. So
Oh, really?
so if you're
Kentucky, what I
averaging
do-
15-20%, then that's 5 to 10%.
If you're averaging
of your-
15-20%, you're a really, really good server.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what I did for most of my life. I'm trying to stay out of it now. I'm too old for that shit. But
Yeah.
that's what I
It's
did for
not
most
just
of my
that
life.
you're a good server, it's also that the kitchen staff is amazing too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, right. No doubt.
Because
Oh,
the
yeah, that-
kitchen
it-
can
it all
staff
ties
can
together.
ruin a
Consistency.
server.
Yeah. Yeah.
You'll be poor if you have a
consistency is
shitty
key.
kitchen staff and you're surfing.
Kentucky.
agree.
What? Actually, this is good for everybody to hear. Taxes and servers. It's just outrageous that you have to pay taxes on your tips. I think that's just criminal. And so to fight it, this is what I do. I don't give a tip. I go up to the server I had away from the table before I leave, and I explain to them, I didn't give you a tip because I would rather give you a gift.
That
And if
doesn't
you
always
say
work.
it is a gift, there is no tax on it.
Yeah, that
That's right.
doesn't always work, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It still shows up on your sales and your hourly.
Not if it's
so
cash in their hand.
Yeah,
well,
and if it's cash, it works. If
I mean,
it's credit card, it
really,
doesn't.
the actual number of tips that I got never really factored into it. I always just claimed what I had to claim. But yeah, I get what you're saying. I mean, you can technically you can give a gift, but
Yeah.
Yeah, I would always tell new servers to claim 100% because basically, so you're helping out the owners by only claiming 10%. So they have to pay less in taxes on you working there. And then, like, if you ever need to get state assistance or any help from the government, then or like say you want to get like an apartment or you want to get a home,
Yeah.
and if you're not showing 100% of your income, it's going to be really hard to do so. So I always tell people, don't feed the rich, feed yourself. But people never listen to
Well,
me.
See, in my case, I had child support taking my checks anyway. So I just claimed what I had to claim and went on. But at one point, I got them to let me work like one night a week in the kitchen for $10 an hour. And then that would be my child support payment every week. And they would take it. I literally got piles of check stubs for $0.
Yeah, see, I'm lucky. I'm one of the few men in Michigan that has custody, and I get child support. So it doesn't happen too often in Michigan. We're definitely a state that doesn't do that often.
They tried to give me 15 years over child support.
Yeah, I knew a guy in Ohio
I've always given the mom back the child support. I never wanted it. I just wanted custody.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I didn't care about like paying child support. That wasn't the issue. I mean, I was a drug addict, so obviously I wasn't paying anything other than the dope dealer. But I got behind on child support and stuff, and the state of Kentucky charged me, and because I had been in trouble before, they charged me a child support and a PFO1, persistent felony offender, and offered me 15 years.
Damn.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, and I know somebody that killed his best friend. He got 2.
Yeah. Well, the day I went to court, and I'll try to censor what I'm going to say best as possible, but the day I went to court, there was a offender of young people that went in front of me, and they gave impact statements that day for his sentencing, and there was an autistic girl, not highly functioning autistic girl, that had these things happen in front of her younger brother and stuff, and just these awful statements. Like it was rough to even sit and listen to, and they gave that guy 6 months on house arrest, and I went up after him, and they offered me 15 years on child support, and people in the crowd actually got pissed, and it like caused some problems because they didn't do anything. They gave that guy a slap on the wrist for an awful crime, and
they want to throw a book at you. Yeah.
And some people made comments about it. They actually had to reschedule my hearing over it.
Damn.
Wow.
Yeah, the structuring sentencing laws, the structured sentencing laws in this country are a joke, and that's across the board in every state.
Yeah.
Like you're gonna get 30 years if you're in possession of some crack cocaine, but like I said, if you kill somebody, and you got a good lawyer.
Yeah, it's all about what it looks like on paper, because they didn't care that they didn't sentence me. What they did was I was already on probation for another PFO and credit card fraud over the internet, and so they said, oh well, we'll just run it concurrent with that, but they added some years to it. So I was on probation for like 8 years, and then they tried to do some other stuff. They tried to make me go to drug court over child support, and they just want to keep you on paper so they can keep that name on the list all that time and get funded for it. But I ended up walking off all of it, and I'm finally free of all that stuff now. And
ta-da!
Well, I hope you never go back to it.
No. I'm gonna try my best not to. I think I would die if I went now. I have heart problems and stuff.
You just stay away from that. You just stay away from that Kent Hovind guy. He's just a bad influence.
Hey, I got an idea. Well, it's not my idea. It was given to me by someone else. I think this is Beck, right? Didn't we talk about the bingo thing with Kent Hovind? Who was that?
Hovind bingo?
Yeah, so you know how Kent Hovind always says the same things. You think you came from a rock, you're related to a pine tree.
Yeah, you mentioned that during Aaron Ross.
Yeah. So I want to make bingo cards with all the things he says and give those out before the show. So it would not only be a debate crushing him, but also just be making fun of him too.
That's a great idea.
Yeah, you see a bunch of
bingo.
See a bunch of people in the chat. Bingo.
You want to hear something crazy? This is the main reason why I have it. Which I'd taken a break before I started streaming again briefly, and then I haven't been doing anything for like 2.5 months. 2.5 months ago, Matt Powell's dad shows up at my front door.
Whoa.
just out of nowhere shows up at my front door, and I'm like, I never gave Matt Powell my address. Somebody doxed me back in the. You probably remember, Marty, back in the Matt Powell days. I talked about it. My address was doxed. All of my information was doxed on this website. Matt Powell always swore he didn't do it, but then his dad just shows up at my door one day to try to preach Jesus to me, and I'm like, so no, it was you, Matt. Matt Powell fucking doxed me. He had my address this whole time.
Wow.
Do you think those the threats you were getting were from him? Did you ever prove that or no?
Say what?
The threats you were getting, did you ever prove it was from him or no?
No, he denied the death threats that I was getting, and now like I'm questioning all of that stuff because I always thought it was Will Kincaid that doxed me because Will Kincaid had been trying for years, but
Yeah.
when Matt Powell's dad just shows up, out of the blue, I'm like, all right, now I know who it was. All this time, Matt Powell told me he didn't have my address, and
motherfucker,
they had it the whole time.
I only had I got death threats from Steven Anderson's people whenever I covered him in a video.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah.
And Matt Powell said that it wasn't the NIFB, which is Anderson's people. And
yeah.
I got one supposedly from Steven Anderson himself, a death threat. But I never thought it. I never thought it was really him. I just thought it was some crazy person. Now I question everything. Now I'm like,
yeah, right. Wait a minute.
These people are really coming after me. Yeah.
Yeah, they went off the deep end. And my part about him was really short in that video. It wasn't very long, but the video was titled "Scum of the Earth," so I kind of get it, I guess. But
I haven't figured it out, but something happened between Matt and Steven Anderson because Matt went out to Arkansas. Steven Anderson introduced Matt to his wife, and then he just moves back. Never said why he moved back. Everybody knows why he moved away from Kent Hovind's compound, and that's the pedophilia shit that was going on, right? But nobody knows why he moved away from Arkansas. Nobody there something happened between him and Steven Anderson, and I've not been able to figure it out. But something happened.
Wait, that's why he left. That's why he left the Hovind thing. Was the
yeah when all that stuff was coming out about Hovind's homeboy that's a pedo.
Yeah.
Matt got the hell out of there.
Oh shit.
yeah, he disappeared as soon as that happened. And nothing was ever said about it. He was just gone.
Yeah, I haven't heard. I haven't even.
Yeah, because he was on salary. He was like their IT guy on salary, and just up and split.
That they had said he was going to do all the videos with Kent, and Kent needed somebody's channel too. So it was kind of one of those things. But yeah, it was weird. He just up and disappeared.
Thanks, Brainless. I passed that on to Joe. Thank you.
Yeah, I'll check it out. Thank you.
Yeah, so that freaked me out. And then I was talking to my brother, and my brother was like, "Oh yeah, anybody can get your address. I got a program right now. I can get anybody's address." And I'm like, "Oh shit, that's good to know." Because now I'm freaked out because I said a lot of evil things to a lot of people.
Well, the social engineering side of it, as far as like YouTube's concerned, it's really easy, especially for someone who has, a lot of videos in their background and stuff, to find, because you only need like a couple small details to find everything out about somebody. You don't need as much as you think. And it's really easy to do. In minutes, I could dox anyone with just a few details.
The world is way too small now. Like the good thing about the internet, which I chose to give up my anonymity, out of pressure from the whole Smokey Saint thing. Smokey was saying my name, and I was like, screw it, here I am. This is who I am. So I made that choice. But the whole point of the internet and having that anonymity, that should be protected, right? Like some people don't want the truth about themselves to come out for very good reasons, some for very bad reasons. But you got to protect those good reasons, and it's really scary to think about. Like I as the raging atheist, I made a lot of people very, very angry, and it's really I've gotten hundreds, if not thousands, of death threats, and it's scary to think that any one of 1,000 people could be crazy enough to use one of these programs and then come and shoot me and my kid or whoever's at my house. It's terrifying,
right?
It's terrifying.
There are times when you like meet certain people doing this, and they make you stop and think, and you're like, hey, I don't know, this person could have motives, other than this, and it really kind of weirds you out about letting too much information out.
Yeah.
They're
I never talk smack about people that don't show themselves anymore, because I did that a lot.
Yeah.
I get it
You know
now.
what, though? I don't worry about it much, because where I live has a couple little different properties on it, so they're probably going to go after the main house first, and I'm not there, so I'll probably have warning. Yeah, there's a big ass cattle dog in there that's mixed with something else, and he's like this big around and like fucking 110 pounds. So have fun. He can jump. So
I moved. So only 2 people on the planet right now where I live, and I'm not gonna be able to keep it like that. But right now, because I just moved, 2 people on the planet know where I live.
I'm more scared of the locals around me finding out what I do than people on the internet.
Right. The crazy people are right next door.
Yeah. I live among the crazies, so
I lost a job because people found out I was a raging atheist on the internet. Like, they never told me that. Of course, they're not going to tell you that, because that would be discrimination. I'd have a lawsuit. But like it came up. It became a topic of conversation. A month later, I was let go. I mean, like, I could put 2 and 2 together.
My boss the other day knew that I was having Matt Dillahunty on, so worked the piss out of me till the last minute. Like, tried to kill me that day, weed eating hillsides and creeks and everything. Like, just came up with stupid stuff to do because he knew that I was going to talk to Matt, and he freaks out every time I say anything about being an atheist. But
oh my God,
you're the devil. You're the devil if you're an atheist.
I just hate God.
Give me his address, and I'll send him Satan cards instead of Christmas cards.
Yeah, get him a membership to the Satanic Temple. Send it to him.
I got fired for having ADHD and other learning disabilities because I was getting in trouble at the job. I had a lot, but then after I got my medication and got my test and got, we figured out what was wrong, what was happening. I was getting written up like at least every other week. And I'm like, why am I getting in more trouble now that we know what's going on than I was before? Because they knew if they fired me for having disabilities, I'd sue the shit out of them. So they fired me, but they fired me for something real stupid. They fired me for basically something I didn't even do. I posted something on Facebook back in the day. I said, because they were hating on me. 2 of the managers were hating on me for like me asking the same question again, because I'll do that. Like, someone will tell me something, then I'll ask a question, and I'll tell me the same thing, and I ask it again. That's my brain trying to lock in the information.
Like process,
Yeah. So I'm listening to him on the intercom. I'm at my desk, and they were like, I don't know how many times she's answering the same question. I know. I mean, we already told her what to do. And so I put on there, if my bosses want to talk shit on me, they should turn off the intercom. I put that on my Facebook. One of the girls ratted me out to another one of the managers, and then I got fired for that. And they said that I got fired for revealing personal information about the office, because there was a thing in there in the
employee handbook. There was
you're giving out company secrets.
Blah.
That's almost happened to me, Marty. One of my drunken nights as a raging atheist, I went on and I cussed about a couple people I worked with for like 30 minutes, and my manager was watching because he watched my channel. He told the owners, and the owners wanted to fire me, and my manager wouldn't do it because my manager, we were friends, and he was gonna, he'd feel guilty because he essentially got me fired. But they were gonna fire me just because I went on. Like, nobody knows who the fuck I'm talking about, right? Like, but they were gonna fire me because I mentioned names.
Yeah, I didn't even mention names. I didn't say my boss called this and this at this office at this address. You know what I mean? Like, I didn't even say any of that. But they wanted to get rid of me because of my learning abilities.
It was more like this one bitch I work with. She's got blonde hair, and they're all like, "Oh, Frederica, she's the only blonde."
Yeah, and I was invited out by one of the girls who was like a kiss ass to one of the managers. I was like, "Bitch, you fucking
bitch, please."
I really liked that job too. I loved that job, but I hated management.
Yeah.
I got fired for coming out of the closet.
That's fucking lame.
Me too.
And you know what? It was the year that Wisconsin brought in the country's first Employment Equality Act, where you could not fire anybody for being gay, lesbian, or bi. It didn't
Yeah.
Right.
include trans.
That's lame.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
fucked
well-
up. I didn't think about that.
I got fired
Yeah,
in 2001, 2002. I came out as being gay because it was easier than saying I'm trans because people were starting to accept the gay thing. So I thought this is a good step to start with, right? And so I came out as being gay, and 6 days later, I no longer had a job.
Damn.
Yeah,
I cut my
they'll
hair
never
off,
say
and
they'll
and
never
day
say it's
6
because you're gay. It's you
Yeah.
know this
Yeah,
reason
no,
or
day-
that reason. You know.
yeah,
no,
day
fucking
5
asshole.
came. Day 5 came of me coming into work with this short hair, right? Because I just like I used to have it long for my ex, and I left him and I chopped it off, like off. And so the boss on day 5 said, "Hey there, Butch," and I said, "Oh, you finally figured it out. Good for you. What's up, boss?" And I was walking to my car, and I came back and worked the day. And the next day, Jim, the regional manager, came over and had a talk with me and fired me. And I said, and it was, and the owner said it's because I'm too brash. That's why
Yeah,
he
like,
said he fired me.
Whatever the fuck that means.
That's the biggest
Yeah.
made up bullshit I have
Can you
ever
give
heard
me
in
an
my
example?
life.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I said,
Yeah.
Jim, you know this is bullshit, right? Jim was a Christian guy. He was actually a really good guy. He didn't care if anybody was gay or whatever. He said God said to love everybody. That's ridiculous, you know. He was a really good guy, old school country guy, you know. And so the whole time he's got his arms crossed and he's deflecting, right? Arms crossed, and he's staring at the ground. He can't look at me. And I was like, Jim, you know this is bullshit. And he was like, well, you know, so, and I'm like, Jim, this is fucking bullshit. And I'm like looking at the top of his head, and he's like doing this, looking everywhere but where I am. And I was like, his whole body language was saying, I'm lying right now, and I'm trying to hide from it.
Yeah.
Like he knew he was fucking full of shit. And so I was like, fuck this shit. I walked away.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Yep. Because I'm too brash. What kind of fucking excuse is that?
I wonder if I can still be fired in Georgia for being
He's the first person ever fired for brashness.
I know, right? I've been fired for everything, man.
Yeah.
Sexual comments that somebody overheard and they went and told somebody I said about them. That was Christus. That was the last job. This one, the chick at the front desk is going to get me fired because the
Hey,
owner
there's-
said, you know, I'm getting stressed out hearing these complaints about you. And I'm like, I don't know how much more professional and polite I can be when Christine comes and corrects me. I say thank you and yes, ma'am.
Yeah.
If that's an attitude, I don't know what to tell you, Candace. And she was like, well, and I was like, well, tell me I'm being unprofessional by saying that. Please tell me that. I would love to hear this.
Right.
I can still be fired for being bisexual, according to what I'm reading now.
I'm in
Yeah.
New Mexico. I can't
It's
get
el-
fired
it-
for that.
It's if you're not in the law that specifically your letter, you're not in there.
I'm in a state where there only has LGBT protections because the governor screwed up. Gotta love Pence.
When they fired me, of course we all know why. They put up with me for like two to 3 weeks after I transitioned, and I was appearing different now and different name and all that stuff. Anyway, so they were used to me, at least that I was there. They thought I was a creep, so they weren't used to that. But they told me that, oh gosh, the budget or the funding for the budget on your job has ended, and they're not going to have it again this next year. Which was a lie, because it was a volunteer organization, and I was the person who handled everything about the volunteers. So I knew it wasn't me. And you know, okay, well, fine. I put my tail between my legs and told them "fuck you all" and left. And 2 weeks later, there was a job in the jobs column in the paper, and
It was your
for
job.
my job. So
Wow.
I applied for it with a special courier who hand delivered my resume and application.
He had proof.
And
love it, Joey.
the job was dropped. They're not going to hire for that job. We're just going to end that job. No, we're changing our mind.
Wow.
What fucking? I'm sorry, it's not funny, but it's funny how you handled it. You freaked them out so bad they just canceled the whole job.
Yeah, they fired the position.
Oh fuck! People are such assholes.
Yes, they are. Fuck people.
That's like this place I went to and I applied at. I applied there and the manager wasn't in, and she said, well, I'll just put it on his desk. And I said, thank you so much. And I left and I came back. I was like, I'll be back around because I was a truck driver. I was gone. I was like, I'll be back in 2 weeks back home. And she was like, cool, sounds good. And it was like a local run, just running not paper, windows. I can't remember which kind, but anyways, doesn't matter. So I came back and I said, hi, blah, blah, blah. Talk to the manager, blah, blah, blah. She was like, sure. She walks away, walks into his office, which is you walk into a hallway. It's up 2 steps and his office is right here. First, right next to me. It's an old fucking office that has the wood paneling and no insulation. So you can hear everything. And I hear, this one's back, and she picks up the application off of his desk and hands it to him to talk to you about the position. And he looks at it and goes, oh, isn't that the fucking lesbian?
Whoa.
Turned out, I found out later, a buddy of mine, 6'5" black dude that used to be a Marine. Same thing happened, but the N-word is back, huh?
Damn.
Same fucking company, same fucking manager.
Yeah. I've seen some of that take
said,
place
well,
in the workplace here in Kentucky, some of the racist stuff, but
yeah, that's the middle of Ohio for you.
Yeah.
I've been fired from every job I ever had.
Damn.
I almost have. Look, I have been here for 4.5 years. I've had 6 jobs. One I didn't get fired from, and they wrote me down as being fired, even though I put in 2 weeks' notice and I left. So I've technically been fired 6 times here.
Oh, you're quitting? Good. We're not having you.
And
back.
I'm on my 7th job here, so we'll wait for that to happen. I just don't even.
Fucking sucks.
And people are like, oh, they get like uptight and shit. I'm like, chill, man. This is just a job. Like, I'm going to have another one in a couple months, and you won't have to deal with me anymore. Just chill out and wait for it.
But that racist place, you could probably just walk in there with a recorder and just record them.
I mean,
probably could.
People work jobs to make money. That's why they do it. And so, like, if someone's good at the job and making you money, why the fuck does any of that other stuff matter? Like, I don't
have any idea. I went to
it benefits them to have good workers.
I went to a place, now mind you.
It doesn't benefit them. They're just pricks and don't care about human rights.
Yeah, just bigots, yeah.
Mind you, I have a CDLA. I have no moving violations. I have one thing where I drove down a road that was not for trucks because where they had the sign was so far in past a tree you couldn't see it till you already turned. And what are you going to do? Back up in an intersection? That's a bigger ticket. So I just kept driving. And there was a cop at the end of the road fucking pulling over truck drivers.
But see,
and he got me.
Kind of shit.
And so I have like that. And I have, I wasn't wearing a seatbelt for a 1 mile trip to the truck stop because I was about to fucking piss my pants and they would not let us go inside the fucking plant we were sitting at. So we had to drive down the road really quick. And so then they stopped us and I literally almost pissed my pants by the time I got to the goddamn gas station, which was right there in front of me. I almost just squatted in the fucking goddamn side of the road, the fucking assholes.
Yeah.
But besides stuff like that, I have a clean record. And I went into this place and all they do is move eggs. Like someone loads it, you just do a drop and hook, pick up the empty, come back. That's it. That's their whole job. And so I applied for that job. It's easy. I have plenty of experience. You know, by the time I applied for this position, I already had like over 750,000 miles on the road.
Wow.
So no accidents, no incidents, nothing. So, so yeah, they rejected my application.
Yeah.
They rejected and I know damn well that I had more experience there than most people because I knew somebody that worked there. And he said, hey, come apply. We're getting really shitty drivers that have only been driving for like 1 year or 2 years and they're wrecking shit.
Yeah.
So I know mine with a 6 years worth of experience was superior. I know it was.
If the people who make these awful decisions and stuff had to live one day, in the life of somebody who experiences all those things, all the awful treatment and hate and stuff, they wouldn't survive it. They're
they'd sound like that Christian guy that's like sitting in the sunlight all by himself in a little room that looks like a jail cell on a wooden bench, and there's like straw on the floor around him, and they're like, Christians are being persecuted.
Yeah.
It's just like that guy.
Yeah.
They love their persecution porn.
Yeah.
I just want to say seatbelts are fascist.
Yes, it's your body. You should be able to do whatever you
Mark,
want.
Caesar.
So the fact that there's a law that tells you have to wear your seatbelt, it's fascist.
I'm sorry, maybe I said that wrong, but in 4.5 years, I'm on my 7th job.
Yeah. In Kentucky, you don't
That's the
have to
rate
wear
I'm
a
at right
helmet
now. I'm
on a
averaging
motorcycle,
around 8 months
but you
per
do have
job.
to wear a
Yeah,
seatbelt.
I think I'll be going on my 4th in 2 because I've been back to work for 2 years, and this will be my 4th job.
Yeah, I feel you, bro. Yeah, but you're also
I was
in a
just
totally
laid
different
off.
industry than I am. Like people, the jobs I go into, people don't come in and out.
Yeah, I've been doing factory since I went back to work, factory work.
Well,
And I just recently worked at a warehouse, and like they started building these fucking conveyor belts, right? And we're all just looking at it. We're like, man, when they get those fuckers done, they ain't gonna need half of us. And at some points, like they're pulling us off of our job to help them build all these conveyor belts that's got all these scanners. Like half of us are going to be let go. Like we're literally building the equipment that's going to replace us. And sure as shit, it happened. As soon as that shit was done, half of the warehouse was laid off. It's like, son of a bitch. This is the future. This is what's going to be happening.
That's why we need UBI.
Well, I'm not good for working around people anyways, and all the jobs I have are customer service oriented. That's all the experience I have. So I don't know how to get away from it. I've tried to apply for the remote jobs, but for some reason I can't type well, and I've taken a typing course, and I just cannot fucking make my fingers do what they want them to do. And
that's me. 30 years of customer
maybe I have
service.
motor issues because I'm a klutz too. So maybe I have some kind of motor issue because I've hurt myself. I have scars all over my body from just running into shit and stuff I do. So maybe I have some kind of motor issues I don't know about. But on the flip side, I can stand on a ladder and use a fucking circular saw with one hand and not get hurt. So I don't know.
That's very.
I know it is weird. Well, because when I'm doing dangerous stuff, I pay attention, and when I'm not doing what's considered dangerous, I don't pay attention, and then it becomes dangerous for me because I end up hurting myself.
Like walking.
I've been like that my whole life. My mom used to call me her giraffe because I would just run into shit with my elbows and my knees all the time.
That's actually a common thing with autism.
Really?
There's an issue with spatial awareness.
Yeah, I have spatial awareness problems because I just move too fast and like do stuff too fast, and I don't really pay attention because not like on purpose, not like I don't want to, but I thought it was ADHD. So
could you define that better for me?
Who? What, me?
And anyone, whoever feels confident to do that.
Like, you're just not aware of where you're at. You're just not aware of like the rock that you're about to trip over, or like the tree branches. It's just not being aware of your environment.
Yeah.
See, I'm the opposite of that. I'm too aware of my environment.
Well, here's the thing with me, though. I was about to say, Naka, it's not that I'm aware of my environment, but I'm aware of the wrong things in my environment. Like I'm worried about other people driving around me, or I'm worried and I don't see like potholes and stuff. I'm not worried about the fucking pothole. The pothole's not going to kill me. So when I'm out in public and I'm walking around, I'm the same way, and I'll trip over shit and fucking bust my ass. And
I'll see a pothole 2 miles away, but
I'm not watching. I'm not watching what's in front of me on the ground.
I live in Michigan, where it's pothole country. Illegal weed was supposed to fix the roads, and they ain't done shit because it's Michigan. The summers are too hot and the winters are too cold for us to have concrete roads.
I got to take off, guys. But
Thanks for coming by, Joe.
yeah, thanks for having me on, and I had a good time
yeah.
talking to everyone.
Have a good one.
Yeah.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
See ya, JoJo.
Yeah.
You are very far away and echoey and sound kind of
Is
quiet.
that better?
A little bit.
This mic has been bad.
Yeah, let me know if I'm too loud because I have a brand new mic and it probably booms.
No, it sounds
No,
pretty
you're
good.
fine. You're fine.
There were two things being mentioned. One is proprioception, which was the sense of where your limbs are in space. And people with Ehlers-Danlos syndrome and joint hypermobility syndrome often have a problem with that, which makes us appear clumsier than we are. And then there's spatial awareness, which is not quite the same thing.
We wish those were those kind of holes. They don't actually have pot in them. It's
It'd be cool
I
if they
think because
did,
they
though.
were generally sized pot, so they call them potholes.
And it's a real good hiding place. Oh,
Yeah, in Michigan, our potholes, they'll blow your tires out. I mean, they ain't no joke up here.
Same thing in New
Oh
Jersey.
yeah, I know. Well, you'd think by now too that Michigan's like fucking water infrastructure would be totally redone by now with all that money, right?
Yeah, oh, you think. Yeah, you think. Yeah, especially, I mean, Whitner's, she's tried, but there's so much red tape. Yeah, Flint still doesn't have clean water. Nobody talks about it anymore.
I know. I was just
And
talking about that the other day.
And Snyder never went to prison. All of his underlings did. Just like we all said, that, you know, like I was screaming from the rooftops 8 years ago. They're never gonna do shit to Snyder. And then, you know, people have forgotten Michigan's purple, so we go back and forth. So it was Snyder, the Republican, and then we got Whitmer, the Democrat. So next 8 years, it'll be another fucking Republican, and they'll kill another 20,000 people. And then people will remember, oh shit, yeah, they do this every time. So
let's vote Democrat again.
There's a second.
Let's do it all over again.
Yeah.
Well, I'd like you
Lovely.
not to send the red people to Pennsylvania, Indiana, please. We have enough of them.
It's
goddamn,
crazy
you
up
guys all
here.
do.
Like, because I live in Battle Creek, and everybody here are just adamant Trumpers and fascists and shit. I'm like surrounded by fascists.
Wow.
But like they're, you know, Michigan as a whole, we're Democratic, you know, but we go back and forth because a lot of people are in the middle. But I'm just surrounded by nothing but the worst of the worst. It's crazy. I should have moved. I should have moved years ago.
I do not miss at all living around bigotry and hatred and racism and all that shit all the fucking time. I do not miss it one bit. It was horrible. I had to deal with it all the time in Ohio. And even if it wasn't directed at somebody that was like me, it was directed at someone who was a minority who gets picked on all the time. And it would piss me the fuck off.
It's generational. And you know, like I'm coming to realize like people, they don't even realize it about themselves, right? Like, so you can call them a racist or, you know, all these names, and all it does is piss them off because they haven't been able to self-analyze the generational bigotry that's inside of them.
Yeah,
you know?
I usually am trying to avoid calling somebody a bigot, even if they are. They're likely going to just dig their heels in and double down rather than.
Yeah, they're just going to reject it. Yeah.
So I try and avoid actually even using any of those terminology and all that.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't use it to them because they're never going to listen to you if you do.
It's definitely better just to highlight it, you know, just not let the comments pass. That's what I found, like, you know, because a lot of the people around me, they know not to say those things around me now because I'll speak up. So, you know, and that is where the self-analysis is going to come in, because now they're taking steps to avoid it, and that takes a little bit of self-analysis, and that baby step will hopefully lead to bigger steps down the road.
Right. I can dig that.
Yeah, but it's bad up here. It's crazy. I wish I lived in a better part of Michigan, because there are definitely some like liberal areas of Michigan. I'm just not in one of them.
Why don't you move to Minnesota?
Oh, I should. Yeah. I'm watching like Fargo right now, so the accents got me all like I want to go to Minnesota.
That accent is a bunch of bullshit.
It's not as bad as the UP, the Upper Peninsula people, those Michigan folks got a weird accent, man. That's great.
No,
I
no,
grew up in Wisconsin. I understand.
no,
Yeah, I think it's Wisconsin and it's Fargo, right?
What we can do is we can take maybe from blue states, it's a handful of people, about 1 million people, and move them down to Texas. So they'll turn Texas blue. Or what we could do is we can take all the Republicans in Florida, move them to Texas, and take all the Democrats from Texas, and move them to Florida, so we have a blue Florida.
Yeah. Just go back to the north and south again. You know.
Hey, Mage, that's between you guys and Texas. You leave the rest of us out of that shit.
Come to Georgia.
Just give Texas back to the give back to Mexico.
Give it back to Mexico.
Yep.
And
Right. Not New
California
Mexico,
can just be its own country because they're like the fourth biggest GDP in the world.
Well, I tried to get Canada annexed Florida, but they said no, you keep that.
Yeah, I bet.
Yeah. I still think Handmaid's Tale had it right. It's going to be the United States of Canada, and then America is going to be fascist land.
United States of Canada. That's funny. Who knows? None of us ever know what's going to happen next. It's like every year we think we know what's going to happen, and then we're wrong. Some asshole happens somewhere.
I was right last time.
I hope I'm wrong. I think Donald Trump is going to be convicted and then elected president and pardon himself.
Well, gods, I hope that doesn't happen.
That's my prediction. Because he's probably going to get convicted. It's whether or not he's going to become president. That's the key.
Well, the rest of that is it also depends on all the states he gets convicted in. Because, for instance, he gets convicted in New York, he can't run in New York. He gets convicted in Georgia, he can't run in Georgia. If he loses enough of the big states that are big for the electoral,
Yeah, but I mean,
a loss of New York is nothing. He's
not going to win New York anyway.
Yeah, he's not going to win it.
Well, I know, but then you could also lose Georgia and some other ones. Like it would hurt him in the end to lose some of these states.
He could lose delegates or whatever.
I think it's important to remember that Trump cannot pardon himself for a state conviction. He can only do it for federal convictions.
Yeah, but if he becomes president, they won't put him in prison.
I'm not so sure about that. New York does not like him. Neither does Georgia at this point.
Well, yeah, New York's trying to make an example out of Donald Trump. They're trying to try everything they can to lock his ass up.
Mueller set a legal precedent when he said that he couldn't indict a sitting president. So it'd be really hard to put Trump in jail as president.
Yeah, it'd most likely have to wait until after he's out of office.
Yeah, exactly. But he wants to make it a lifelong position. So good luck. Good luck with that. He'll die in that spot.
My prediction on that, though, because I think he'll try, and I think if he succeeds, it'll backfire against him. Because I don't think that Trumpers are really fascists because they don't understand what fascism is. They just fall along the line. So once Trump goes full fash, I think most of them will reject it.
Interesting enough,
not a chance.
Interestingly enough, we already have about 4% of his base is rejecting him.
Yeah, and it's getting like more and more people. Like there was a rally like a week and a half ago where people were walking out by the hundreds in the middle of the speech.
Yeah,
like they got bored and left.
And that 4%, I'm not talking about Republicans in general. I'm talking about the hardcore MAGA.
Yeah,
4% of them are going no more. No.
And that's only really like 20% of the party, and then another like 60% go along to get along, and they're waiting for it to balance back out.
Yep.
I don't think it will. I don't think it ever will. I think the Overton window is where it's going to be. It's up to us to make the Democratic Party more left. So that's the only way you're going to bring the Overton window back.
We're screwed.
Not so sure about that. I think Trump's death is going to do a lot.
Yeah, well, if Trump does get reelected, I mean, he's going to be so bad. It could really be a stain on far rightism in America. Kind of like George Bush was for republicanism. It could be a stain on the current fascist fad, I think. But it just all depends on, will the people fall in line with him truly, like if he goes full fast. That's to be determined. I'm not really sure. I don't know.
Yeah,
some of them will.
Yeah, some will for
Just
sure.
question
I
how
don't
many.
think it's going to be.
Yeah.
I don't think it's going to be as big of a portion that as he thinks it's going to be.
Well, yeah, especially once they realize like leftists have guns too. A lot of them are pussy. They're gonna back. They're gonna back down.
Well, that's like he asked his supporters to come to the courthouse and support him, and like 5 people showed up. Like
Matt Gaetz,
I
oh
think
my
they're getting
God.
sick of it. I think they only want to be around him when it's fun. Number one, which does not say loyalty and I'll be there at the end. That does not say that.
Yeah.
There's a couple that are really like psycho about it, and then the rest are all going to fade away eventually, and probably
and pretty much
unfortunately,
all
at
of
the
them, like
RFK.
all of them, their political careers pretty much depend on Trump. Like Matt Gaetz, Taylor Greene, and Boebert, like all of them they're so far in the Trump camp that they can't come out even if they wanted to. But I don't know. It's because even before Trump, the right the right was just going so far right. You had your 90s conservatism under Newt Gingrich, which was far right at the time, but then you had your teabaggers come along and it pushed it farther right, and then your Trumpers. It's like the next escalation is outright fascism. That's the scary thing.
This has been their plan since Reagan. This is what they want.
Yeah.
They want one party rule. I can't count
Since
how
the
many-
implementation of the Southern Strategy.
I can't keep track of how many times Karl Rove talked about one party rule and that's the only way that you should run a country and all this shit. And they started putting in to name the right judges into the right places, and it start to make a habit out of putting corporate leaders in these various fields as the secretary of whatever, and to wreck the budget. And it just kept on from there. They knew they weren't going to achieve it for about 30-40 years.
I wonder if I can
essays and
find
stuff that these people wrote.
Bernie had a great quote.
They have been largely at the top that we never see. Are a bunch of dominionists and billionaires who want God to run the country. Okay,
I'm probably not gonna find it now, but like Bernie just put out. Bernie's still out there fighting. He just put out like a quote. I'm gonna paraphrase it because I'm not gonna find it. But he put it out on Twitter, but it's pretty much like it's like 100 Americans put in like $600 million towards this campaign, and it's something like, this is what oligarchy really looks like. We need to repeal Citizens United, hashtag repeal Citizens United, whatever he said. But like he's the only one out there like even really talking about just what this mess that is America, and everybody else, they're playing the games, MAGA's playing the game and the Democrats are playing the game, and Bernie's out there fighting and nobody's listening. And what we were talking about with jobs earlier, and how just normal people are backstabbing each other just to get a leg up on the next 25-cent promotion. It's like the system is so ingrained and corrupt in all of us now that we just all play along and we're just sheep to be herded.
And that is the biggest problem we have in this whole thing.
Yeah,
I agree. It's ugly and it's just getting worse. And they're definitely getting what they wanted.
Someone's got an alarm going off.
Maybe.
I
don't hear it.
I don't think their rhetoric is being bought as strongly anymore.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people coming out and saying now that we're maggots, that are coming and saying now, like, well, I don't even know what I was thinking. I was following him, and those videos are starting to make the rounds, and people are going to keep watching them. And it's just like the churches; their attendance is down as well.
Well, and it's like, how many times can Q be wrong before you realize that it's not real? Like how many times can this dude be wrong?
Right?
Infinite. Being blind is blind forever.
That's right, forever and ever.
I'm not so sure about that.
I think it just depends on the person. There's huge gray area there. There's no way to tell. stranger things have happened. Like one of the ladies I saw that was doing one of those was a maggot, no longer is interviews. Boy, she looked like a maggot too. Like she really, I would not suspect her to be one of the ones that would fucking wise up and see what was going on.
I love the guys who have gotten themselves tattooed in really obvious places with Donnie's picture.
Why would you? Oh
Yeah, I
no!
Well, you know, tattoos can be changed.
Yeah, but Jesus, why would you even to begin
man.
with?
But yeah, I mean,
Anybody
be
can
removed
make a
too.
big black circle.
I worked really hard. I worked really hard in Michigan to get Barack Obama elected, and in 2008 on that election night, I remember sitting at Mark Shower's campaign party. It wasn't a victory party. He lost his congressional run that year, but I was at his party, and the news came over that Barack Obama won, and I cried, and everybody was happy, even though our guy just lost. But you know what? I never thought, you know what? I'm going to go get me an Obama tattoo. So, like, it never crossed my fucking mind. Never.
That's my point. Like, who fucking does that shit? You psycho motherfucker. It's like branding, you dumbass. It's like hating corporations, but you walk around with Harley Davidson all over your jacket all the time. What the fuck
I
are
will
you
admit
doing?
that I bought an Obama baseball hat with his president number, whatever, what was it, 40, 44, 43, 44, 44. I've never worn it, but I do own one.
My
I was kind of disappointed with Obama overall.
Yeah, I thought he was going to do. Joe
yeah.
Biden's done way more than anybody.
Oh yeah, he was definitely
Obama.
a corporate sellout, a war criminal. I don't think that gets talked about enough. His war crimes with drones is atrocious.
Yeah. And then of course, well, I do have to press that Trump put that on steroids.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Trump obliterated what he did. But you know, in 2008, we thought we were electing like our first real progressive since probably FDR. You know, like we thought that change we can believe in. You know, yes we can. You know.
Yeah, I felt the same way the first time around. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, I was crying that night, but I never wanted to get no damn tattoo. I do still have a bunch of my Obama stuff from that first election, and I've gotten a bunch of Trump stuff. Like people you know think it's funny to give me Trump stuff, so I got a Trump chia pet. You know, like Trump's head. I never took it out of the box.
Of course not. It's worth more in the plastic. Just
yeah.
Wait till he's after he's in jail and he's not popular anymore, and then sell that bitch. It'll go for a lot of money.
When I first started my channel, I would keep them on my bookshelf behind me. You know, people would always say, "You got a Trump chia pet?"
I would say they should make the chia check. You know, get her wet and spread the magic seeds and watch her grow.
You know, the funny thing about that knock is I know you had a chia pet behind you. I never knew it was Trump.
Yeah, Trump head.
Never noticed it.
I have a Trump.
I saw the chia pet box.
Some kind of golden Trump dollar. It's great. Like people give me shit all the time because they think it's funny. They know I hate Trump. You know.
Make America Great Again Bible.
No, I never got the Bible.
Actually, thinking about it with Obama, I was thinking, you know, it seems like it'd be good, even if he managed to do the whole status quo, do nothing. At least he said it'd be better than what we were getting in any of the other scenarios. So, but unfortunately, he didn't live up to that. But
no, yeah, and he was supposed to give us universal health care, and then gave us Mitt Romney's
plan. Yeah, Republican plan.
Yeah, I mean, like, what was that, dude? Like, he was such a corporate.
It was a
sellout.
compromise. He had to do.
That wasn't a compromise. That was not a fucking compromise.
Healthcare has helped people. It saved my life, and it saves countless other lives.
Well, no, I definitely saved lives, and definitely better than the system we had before. But we elected him for something. We elected him for something else. You know, he promised a public option at the least.
He can't promise what you have to compromise. That's the nature of compromise. He had no choice, or we wouldn't have had anything at all.
Well,
okay? How close was that vote?
The pharmaceutical lobby has had a lot to say about it.
Yeah, sure they did. Mm-hmm. So that's why he did the best he could.
The Republican plan. Yeah, that's the best. Great.
I mean, it was definitely better than what we had. So I mean,
absolutely.
Definitely. And if Republicans didn't spend the next 10 years after it being passed gutting it, then it had potential to be even better than what it was. But the Republicans were very, very successful at gutting Obamacare from the very beginning.
Since we're on the topic, everybody should think twice about calling for a Medicare for everyone. Medicare costs you money every month. You have to send a check to them to get Medicare, and it does cover everything. Lots of stuff. I mean, it's a net positive for me, at least, anyways. But it's like any other insurance policy. You have deductibles and you have co-pays. You have 80-20 kind of thing if you have on a major situation, so it's really no better than insurance. It's just that you're paying less money for the insurance.
Oh yeah, I think that's bad activism. It's a bad slogan. I definitely don't support Medicaid for all. I'm definitely for a public option. I would blend what works in Canada and what works in the UK. And kind of kick out what doesn't.
Medicare for everyone is the public thing.
Well,
the other end of it is the private, and then that's the insurance companies.
Well, it's the public thing that we have. I don't advocate for that. I like Bernie Sanders' option, his plan. Yeah, you're going to pay more, but you're going to end up saving every year. From your deductibles, and in 10 years it pays for itself.
Yeah, I question that whole you'll actually be paying more when you figure out all the ins and outs of what actually it's not coming out of your pocket. You also have other things that
you're paying more in your taxes, but you're saving what you're paying out.
Yeah, you're actually saving more out of actually paying more out of pocket than what you'd be paying in your taxes. Plus, there's other things that you're actually paying into your taxes is already for people.
And in 10 years it pays for itself. There's an initial investment that is going to be steep for the country to pay, but in 10 years that investment is paid and it starts paying for itself. And in fact, there's probably going to be a surplus.
But there's, like I said, as we're trying to say, there are other things that we are already paying in our taxes is that would actually be reduced. Is because, like, for instance, if somebody who can't pay their medical bills and dies, who usually because it could have gone to like a doctor beforehand, not gotten it taken care of when it was much less and lived.
Right.
If that person that bill goes into our taxes. So we're already paying for other people's
literally
medical, and it's going to be much higher because we're having to wait until the point that they were practically dying.
And then it's really expensive.
Yeah,
that's
really
literally the problem. Why
right there is
universal health care is such a good idea.
So that right there is going to reduce it, and we have, like I've said, the out-of-pocket thing. Being people who are already paying out of pocket, they're paying actually a lot more than they would be paying in the taxes. So that's another point. So.
Yeah, I mean, I just think that definitely Obamacare was a step in the right direction. It's too bad Republicans are Republicans and couldn't support their own plan just because it came from Obama. I mean, it's the sad state of Republicans in America, and I think we're getting closer and closer to pre-Obama care now because it's been gutted so much and it's so hard. Really, I mean. Obamacare, I don't even really know anybody that goes for Obamacare. You either go to the state or you got private insurance, right? That's pretty much what it is now. So I mean, that's how it was before Obamacare. That's how successful Republicans have been.
45 million more people have health insurance because of Obamacare than did before Obamacare.
Well, I'm curious about the numbers now because I know it was that way for a while, but I'm betting that a lot of those Obamacare insurance people are now on state insurance, like I am.
Yeah, there were a lot of people who ended up having to pay out of pocket who couldn't really afford it to begin with because of that. No, that's the downside. Yeah, there were a lot more people who are on it, but there was also a lot of people who ended up having to pay out of pocket for it.
That's solely on Republicans. They did that intentionally.
Yeah, they should have been the way it was supposed to be set up was where they had states, but a lot of the states would refuse that whole setup where that wouldn't happen.
And there's
You know
also
what- you know
laws.
what
I
the
just found
dirty-
this out. There's like laws that limit the amount of doctors that can come out every year from school. I never knew that. Like that's crazy to me.
But so yeah, so just to give you, so what I just mentioned, yeah, that's on the Republicans' head, because they could have been set up much differently, and they absolutely refused to do it.
One of the dirty little secrets of Medicare, socialized medicine for the country means is a little thing that they never ever tell you. Neither side tells you this. Every country that's got socialized medicine, they also have private insurance that you can buy yourself and add on, or stand alone, whatever you prefer.
I
And
fully
we would
support
end up doing that same thing. So the insurance companies are not going to be jinxed out. They're going to be lowered in their power. A little less money.
Yeah, I fully support
so
that.
no matter how bad some rich fuck thinks that socialized medicine is, he can go and pay for his own insurance.
Yeah.
And he can have whatever he wants.
Yeah, that is a good point, and you're right. Hardly anybody ever brings that up in this conversation. It's like, yeah, I mean, private insurance isn't going to go anywhere, even if we fully socialize health insurance, which I don't think we should. I think it should be like a hybrid. Like, use what works. Like, there's things in our current health system that work, right? So keep those things, and then just make a hybrid. Use what works from these other countries and make sure that everybody has health insurance. That, you know, if we're taking care of people's health, if we're like using preemptive therapy and preemptive health measures, you're going to be healthier and you're going to be going to the doctor less, you know, instead of living your life like me, who I was like this drug addict alcoholic until I'm like 45, and now I'm going to the doctor and my body's falling apart, you know, like,
yeah.
You know, we could do it differently.
Yeah, and you know, if these private systems where you have to pay into it can't survive in a system area where you have the public option, then they don't deserve to survive.
Yeah, I mean, you're always going to have wealthy people that's going to want the best, right? And there's going to be companies out there that's going to provide that to them. You don't have to get on, because there are going to be like downfalls to a public option. There's like elective things, especially, there's going to be a really long waiting time on that. You know, you're not going to put up with that now under a private system, right? If you've got good insurance, you're going to be able to get that elective therapy right away. But not so much in a public option, depending on what that elective therapy might be.
Well, everybody who's in an argument with a right winger who doesn't think socialized medicine is any good, let them know that extra insurance thing. I mean, it's like an argument stopper.
I've tried.
Well, if you want that, do this, and you have both.
Yeah. They pretty much have to like just put their fingers in their ears and like no, you know.
Yeah, I've tried. Believe me, the mental gymnastics kick in pretty hard.
Yeah.
Right. No doubt.
Well, but you plant a seed.
Yeah, and that's the important thing, is planting that seed, because once they start to think about it, especially like the funny the best thing that ever happened was in 2016 when Bernie was running and he first put his plan forward, and I think it was the Koch brothers had their people do an analysis of it, and it came back like it was going to be far cheaper than the current system. Like, it pretty much everything Bernie said was accurate, so they had to push this fucking study under the rug. It was the greatest thing that ever happened. And then sure as shit, it wasn't just Fox News not talking about that study, it was CNN, MSNBC, because it's all corporate, you know, and the pharmaceutical industry is big money, and it's all corporate now. You know, anything that's gonna actually be truth and take away from that bottom line is not going to make that widespread media attention.
Exactly. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
And as long as the rich people don't like whatever it is, it ain't going to happen in the United States. Bottom line.
Oh yeah, because I mean they're getting the best healthcare. They're getting the best healthcare, and I mean you need your plebs if you're going to have an oligarchy. You need your plebs if you're going to have crony capitalism. For crony capitalists to survive and thrive, you've got to have your plebs of society. That's why you have your service industry. That's why you have your fucking plumbers and your janitors and all of this shit. They need people to feel better than.
And that's what I keep saying. And, you know, people are like, oh, you know, they're just going to get rid of everybody if this happens. I'm like, they're not going to get rid of everybody. They're going to get rid of most of us, but not everybody. And they're like, what makes you say that? And I'm like, because who's going to take the trash out for them? They're not going to
Oh
take
yeah,
out their own trash.
it's
They're
why
not doing their own laundry.
under the
Are
current
you
system,
fucking crazy.
Under the current system, we'll never see UBI. Like it's never going to happen. Universal basic income of any form will never happen because they've got to have their workforce. Capitalism doesn't work without a workforce.
Unfortunately, the only other direction we go in is the fascist state, the 2025 thing.
Yep. Yeah, it's pretty much, I don't know, like technology threw a whole wrench into everything, right? Because now we can all talk to each other. And sooner or later, we're going to realize we're all in the same boat. And it's not going to be, oh, you're this or you're that. It's going to be what you have and what you don't have. And that's pretty much how it should be, because that's how it always has been. It always comes full circle. And we're in that perpetual loop until we break the loop. Like Native American people, we always talk of sacred hoops and sacred hoops being broken. You've got to break these sacred hoops, man. You got to break this loop.
I'm sorry, I'm not laughing at the conversation. Becca Majestic wrote a comment here, and it's Uni Ursal, and I thought, oh, is that Latin? Wait a minute.
he hit the space instead of the V.
Yeah,
it
I guess I'm a little elevated
wage.
here.
Yeah, no, it's okay. I thought I was high for a second, and then I read it right, and then I realized I am high. It's just I read it wrong. Yeah.
Yeah, I've been smoking my pen steady.
Oh yeah, I can't smoke. I had to quit cigarettes. I had to quit smoking green weed. Okay. So I'm just doing oils and vaping and stuff now, which the doctor doesn't like. She said if I have to pick, I'll pick the vaping and the oil and the gummies over the smoke. I'm like, okay.
Yeah, that's what I've done. I've actually managed. I don't smoke cigarettes. I'm vaping, and I don't.
Good for you.
Every once in a while, I'll smoke a little bit of flower, but usually not. I'm usually just vaping my weed too.
You know, I've realized with the oil, I'm actually saving money. So
yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it's like,
I mean, I have to smoke a little bit more, but you know, it these things create so much smoke now, and they vaporize so well, you don't have to take big hits off of them. So,
oh yeah, no, yeah, it does quite well. And you're right, like I was probably, man, I was smoking so much fucking flower. I was smoking joints and joints and joints and joints. Probably spending like $100 a week on flower weed, and now like just vaping weed, I'm spending like $30 a week, like 3 carts a week. I'm good.
Yeah, I think that
I wanted to report back. It's shocking, but UNI ERSL has a translation according to Google Translation. And you want to know what it is? Universal. Now that might just be a flaw with Google Translate, but if it's not, it's pretty interesting.
That is fucking awesome. No, that's great. If that's true, that's awesome.
Okay, I'll shut up now. Go ahead.
No, you're fine. I forgot what I was saying, but it's fine. I don't care. Oh, I mean, no, officer, I haven't smoked anything, but I could have sworn you just said you're as high as giraffe nuts. Is that what I heard? They took away my ability to itemize so that the oligarchs could get tax cuts for mega yachts. Yeah, so if in order for me to itemize now, I lose so much it's not even worth it.
Yeah, but if we
just take the regular fucking thing and go with it.
But if we made them pay more in taxes, and how could they afford to buy another yacht when the old one gets wet?
Well, everybody paid more than Trump. Trump didn't pay his taxes for years. He was using loopholes and paying like $50 a year in taxes and shit.
You should read the Panama Papers. No, most rich people don't pay their taxes.
Yeah, it's true. They don't.
They send it all to like Cayman Island accounts and shit, like offshore accounts that the federal government can't touch.
There's also a lot of loopholes with doing banking thing too. Not just sending it off to offshore and all that.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
It's another thing Bernie tried to tell people about, and they fucked him over. I'll never get over that. I will always hate the Democratic Party for what they did to Bernie. Always.
Yeah, no, seriously. Like I really thought he should have been heard more, and I really would have liked to have heard more of his stuff, but they just wouldn't give him the fucking airtime. They just wanted to, distract with other stuff and not talk about what he was talking about. And it made more sense to me than anything the rest of them were saying.
They appointed Hillary, and I was with them when they did, because I was always a Hillary person. I grew up with her. And she used to be one of us. Like, she grew up dirt poor. Like, man, she used to be a fighter. She used to be a fucking fighter. And then all those years with all that power just fucking changed her, man. And so, but I was still for her. But like, Barack crushed that woman. Like, when he broke Hillary, there was no coming. Like, Bernie should have been the nominee and not Hillary, but they had elected Hillary preordained, 8 years ago.
They did the same thing with Bernie this year.
Yeah, and it was same old antics, not giving him access to the Democratic registry, so he couldn't call all of the DNC's voters.
And they flat out canceled the election in
just
here in
did them
Florida and
dirty.
several other states.
All he's doing is espousing what the party's supposed to be, right? There was supposed to be a party flip. We're supposed to be the party of the people, this party of civil rights now, and he's espousing that. And unfortunately, the DNC they're as corporate as the Republicans, and probably even more so now, because the Republicans are so far right wing. Corporations have to go woke on them, right? And so you get all that culture war outrage in social media, but corporations have to do that to keep their sponsors, right? So Democrats are even more corporate now than the Republicans are.
Interesting way of looking at it.
That does make sense, though. Yeah. Yeah, too many people didn't trust Hillary because so many people talk shit about Hillary, and I feel like it went everywhere like wildfire.
And she was corrupted by the machine, and they had like 1,001 conspiracy theories on her. Like, Hillary Clinton, literally, if you listen to most right wingers, she's murdered like 40 people personally.
Yeah, and that's all bullshit. Bring that up. It's so untrue and damaged her.
Yeah, it's absolutely batshit crazy, right?
But just mentioning it encourages it for the next time around.
It's
if we don't give it platform, we help our cause.
That's right.
Yeah. And they're going to do the same thing to AOC because she's the next one. She's the next face, and they've already started to demonize her. It's already
Jasmine Crockett's the other one that's starting to kick ass.
Yeah.
And
did you see Jasmine Crockett go after MTG?
It was great, wasn't it?
Oh, it was lovely.
It was beautiful. She's fucking hot.
Hey, that's from Congress. That is public record. You could probably broadcast it on the show.
Yeah. It'll be the same old tricks, but
Sadly,
the good thing is that there are people out there, trying to fight the fight, and as much smack as I talk about the Democrats, they are still the closest to my politics and probably everybody else's here. So ultimately, we have we have a chance to swing them left.
They're the most likely to get elected that are closest to the politics, but they're not the closest to the politics.
Yeah, true.
And
all
the
I
other
care
thing
about
that
is that I'm not on their target list with a target painted on my back because I'm LGBT.
They'll just enable the guys who do.
Yes, Maya, it is knock. Absolutely is. That's what I was gonna say. Aaron Reese made this comment. The corporate people are really stupid because if you give people higher wages, you know what they do? They spend more money. You're gonna get it back anyways, you fucking idiots. And one way or the other, it's gonna come back to you. It literally will.
And then there's they have the argument. But what about these small mom and pop shops that can't really afford to pay the higher their wages? Well, that's where if they're really in that kind of situation, you can set up a government system that helps them out. Gives them you can pay X amount of the percentage of that, and then we'll cover the rest. That's through some some government thing that they can sign up for.
Well, yeah, and they pretty much squeezed
I'm not describing that pretty well.
out.
But that's something that can be done, and in that kind of situation.
Yeah, I mean, they pretty much squeezed mom and pop shops out. Like you get them, but they're usually the businesses that are closing their doors after a few years. You know, the so we have all of these anti-monopoly laws that we don't enforce. So we've allowed these corporate oligarchies to exist, right?
Yeah,
Like,
that's how they get it. Yeah, that's how they get around it. Instead of doing a full monopoly, they do an oligarchy.
Yeah, they
oligopoly.
Yeah, they buy a bunch of different companies, put them all under like the same umbrella or whatever. They have all of these stupid loopholes that I'm not even smart enough to even try to think about. But like, you know, if an average Joe like me knows just a little bit about it, and I guess I'm not an average Joe because I've actually read the Panama Papers and most people haven't. But like, I just do this shit for fun, you know, like. But I'm like a high school dropout that went to prison. So like if I know about this shit, sooner or later you got to think like most people are gonna catch on to the game, but we never fucking do, you know.
So you know, the monopoly is where we have one corporation in running everything. You know, monopoly is basically we have 3 or 4 or several corporations in getting together and deciding, yeah, we're all gonna screw these people over.
Yeah, it's insane what's going on. You know, it like I think about it along terms, like because you know conservatives they always say they're like constitutionalists or what would the founding fathers do? I'd say the founding fathers would be pretty fucking upset that we've allowed all of these little mini kingdoms within our country, right? Like, you know, we rebelled against the king because he wanted to tax us on some damn tea, and we've allowed our business owners to become kings within their own little realms, right? And that's why I'm an economic socialist. I'm not for government socialism, but I am an economic socialism. We need to bring independence to our workplace because we don't have freedom in our workplace where we spend most of our adult lives. We're not free.
Knock, if you'd like to get a real good learning, some good learning, if you'd like to learn much more about the socialist or integrating socialism in this democratic capitalist society, go read the history of Milwaukee politics.
No, really? Okay? Yeah, I haven't done that.
Milwaukee's the only damn city in the country that's had two socialist mayors for multiple terms. And they cleaned up Milwaukee. They took it from a very problematic place and made it into something very respectable. Unfortunately, they've been gone long enough now that it's starting to fall apart again.
Yeah, I do know like there was a point in this country where there were a lot of socialists in America, you know, pre World War II, and for some reason we stopped worrying about Nazis and we started demonizing socialists. You know, probably Russia had something to do with it, but
it's an extension of the Red Scare of the 50s.
Yeah. So, but it's insane to me that, you know, people can't really wake up to it. Like they're afraid to even study it, and yet they'll be yoked down their entire lives. And you know, I've had this conversation with my brother recently because I regret that I've always been this nonconformist. Like I've been telling my brother like I should have conformed. I should have done the career thing and kept a steady job and blah 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 blah. But you know, ultimately that's what they want me to think, you know, and that's what they want everybody to think, because once we conform, we stop questioning. And once you stop questioning, then they're free to just do whatever the hell they want, because $15 an hour might pay our bills barely. But when you're making billions upon billions, that's power. And then that's true freedom. Economic freedom is true freedom. And if we're not free economically, we're not free. So I wish more people would wake up.
Have you ever considered getting into politics on some professional level?
Yeah, I did, but I was a felon. 17 years old. I kicked in a couple doors and stole a bunch of guns. So
yeah, but you can't. But you can work for the party. You know.
Yeah, well, and I have sporadically. You know, I worked for Mark Schauer's campaign. I've helped Bernie a couple times. I should have probably gotten more involved than I did. But yeah, you know, the whole felony thing, you know, they wanted me to run for a post here, I don't know, 15 years ago. And the whole felony thing, I couldn't bring myself to do it. You know, it follows me everywhere I go. 17 years old, I fucked up my whole life.
Well, I was just thinking that you have a real wherewithal of the big picture. And
Well, thank you.
And lots of people don't.
I've done a lot of research, which I've read Marx, and I've read, not just because everybody says they read Marx and they read the Communist Manifesto. But I pretty much read all of his shit now. I've read, I don't know, just listening to Wolf on YouTube, just really like thinking about it myself. Like Leo, he talks fast, but when Leo's talking socialism, he really knows his shit. So I trained myself to really listen to him when he's talking socialism, and I've learned a lot from him. But I also know, like, I've been able to think about it independently. Like, we'll never be socialist in America, so we've got to sell socialism on a different level, right? And that's what I'm for. I want America to be what it was supposed to be, a place for everybody to be themselves. So whatever's going to work towards that end, I'm for it. And I think socialism definitely has some potential there.
What we need to do with all the people that are still hanging over from the Red Scare and shit in the 50s, and I certainly grew up in that era, is get them to realize that socialism, like capitalism, is an economic system. It's not a governmental
philosophy
to run your life.
It's an economic philosophy. That's all it is. Marx was a very brilliant man that understood his shit. Yeah, he made a lot of mistakes, and there's a lot of rhetoric in it that you've got to kind of be aware of. But he's human, right? Like he's going to be flawed, but the philosophy is sound. And if you look at it as a philosophy, it's really hard to poke very many holes in it. It's going to come eventually. It's the next step. Capitalism will die. We're in the death throes of capitalism now. It will die. We'll probably not be alive to see true socialism take hold of the world, but it's going to happen eventually. It's the next step. It's the next evolution of humanity, I believe. And I think Marx believed that too.
I agree. I do not like the communist model, though.
Oh yeah,
communism does move from economics into government, and it's one big horrible fascist mess.
Yeah, and Stalin did a lot of
fascism, as far as I'm concerned.
Stalin corrupted communism as we know it, and it's going to be hard to repair that damage. I've always said communism is a utopian idea, right? Like for communism to work, human beings have to evolve. There's got to be another step or two of evolution for communism to actually work, because in communism you don't have a government, you don't have a state, and that's where Russia fucked it up for everybody, because they used communism when it wasn't actually communism. Lenin tried, but Stalin, 5 years later, just did the Stalin thing.
Yeah, we'll call it that. Yeah. Oh, people are crazy, man. I tell you. Just look at the history, and it just blows my mind. And it blows my mind that people try to repeat it. That's what really gets me. Like,
well, yeah,
and do not learn any of this.
Well, yeah, and like we should have seen this. All right, so what's happening on the college campuses right now, right? Like, and what happened a few summers back during the Black Lives Matters protest with the police brutality, right? And everybody acts surprised when it happens, right? Like, we should have seen, like, this happened back with No DAPL. Like, they were using military guerrilla warfare against protesters at No DAPL. Like, the government under both parties has gotten more and more fascisto with their use of military power here on the mainland, and that's something, like, people should be outraged. That's something that should bring both sides together, but it doesn't.
Right.
It's fucking insane, man.
Yeah, I don't know. It just, like, it literally blows my mind that these people are willing to, it's like the thing with the wall and immigration. The Republicans want this extreme thing, and the Democrats are trying to, like, be kind of run more moderate on it. So there's an agreement, and the Republicans are just saying, no, we're not gonna do anything. Fuck that. What the fuck? Like, you're totally defeating your own purpose by doing that.
And then a week after,
because Trump wants to do it, and they want to be the ones to do it. They don't want the fucking Democrats. They don't want Biden taking credit for fixing the goddamn immigration issues. That's all it is.
And a week after they voted it down, they were out there saying Joe Biden couldn't pass immigration reform. You voted it down. You're like,
yeah, like they literally did that.
It was, and people eat that shit up because this is the thing that I really realized, because people get their news sources from where they get them. So like, if people are only watching Fox or they're watching Newsmax or whatever crazy shit they're watching, that's all they're getting. Like, they're not getting nothing else. So like,
and that's what I was telling some people.
That's
like, about
truth
like
to them,
Yeah. Well, okay, think about it, right? You're ignorant. You live out in the woods. People on TV are smart. Okay. So now you live in an area where your choices are those really liberal people that like the gays that we don't understand, or Fox News. So they watch Fox News and they believe all of it because, well, the guy on TV, they went to college. By God, they know what they're talking about. And they just believe everything.
Know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but then they call people who went to college the elite.
Well,
yeah, and they get mad at them and hate them. Yeah, whatever.
All of it's designed though, like, so it's not just that. So it's like, usually it's generational. So it goes back to generations, right? So what you grow up watching is usually what's going to end up on your TV screen as an adult. So if you grew up watching CNN, more than likely you're going to be watching CNN. If you grew up watching Fox News, you more than likely you're going to be watching Fox News.
Absolutely.
And a lot of households grew up watching Fox News because Fox Channel in the 90s was the channel. It had The Simpsons. It had pretty much everything on it. Football, it had everything on it, right? So, and not only that, but the owners, like whatever their fucking names are, they own most of the local news. The Murdochs, they own most of the local news in the country as well, like 80% of the local news outlets. So it's like this intertwined thing. But then you also have social media and the algorithms pushing not only that narrative, but the more extreme versions of that narrative that are being picked up by the algorithm, right? So you're getting this bubble of information on both sides. Both sides think that they have facts when they have narratives, and they don't know how to disassociate the two.
Yep. I agree. That sounds spot on to me. Yeah.
I've had way too much time to think about this shit.
No, I agree, Beck. There is a bunch of it designed to distract us. They do stupid shit in Congress, and they're, because that's what's going to hit the news faster, because drama sells and people want to see that shit, and so that kind of crap's always going to hit the news first, and it's going to be more important than that rule that they just passed, or that law they just passed that would just fuck over the entire United States. So yeah. There's distractions everywhere.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're force fed into believing things, right? And there's a science behind it, right? Like, they have advertising agencies who go out and recruit the best college prospects coming out to run these numbers and figure out what's going to work for these individual segments of society, and they create these brilliant algorithms that are going to force feed all of this information. We have to break that. You have to get your information from different sources. That's what I've been trying to do, and then we have to start reading again. Like people like us, we read, but unfortunately most people don't, and as a society we need to start reading again.
I think you read books. We read a lot right now, just because we kind of have to, because of the way social media works.
I actually,
we read snippets reading. Though we don't read. People like us that do research. We read, but like the way social media is triggered, I call it the ADD society, right? Like it's triggered for little snippets of information, not long nuggets. So you're not really doing in-depth analysis for reading.
Maya, are we interfering with your showtime?
No, we aren't, but I thank you, Jenny, for saying something, because I do need to stop this so people can get. I always give everybody a break.
Yeah,
between mine
I gotta
and
go to bed.
Maya's.
All right.
So, well, there you
About
go.
bedtime.
It's good timing.
I'm sitting here chatting with y'all. It's 9 o'clock. I need to go
Nice
to
to
bed.
meet you, Knock.
Bye, Knock. It was good to talk to you.
Yeah, it's been too
Yeah,
long.
thanks for stopping by, buddy. I do.
Yeah, I
appreciate
don't
it.
miss streaming, but I miss talking to people. So yeah, it was nice talking to everybody.
Well, I guess
Well, I do this every Sunday at the same time, so you're always
Well,
welcome. All
I
right?
guess I get my ending thing out here. Just to point out what the finish off what we were just talking about. Only about 70% of people on Facebook only read the headline of a science article, and they found those only about 8 out of 10 people will only read a headline of a story. So
Wow.
most
Yeah.
people don't get past the headline of a story.
Wow.
Okay, go ahead.
That just shows where our attention span's at. There's too much going on. We have too many things keeping us busy.
Well,
So,
the headline-
anyways,
the headline is designed
anyways.
to catch your attention. If it doesn't catch your attention, you're not going to read it.
Hmm.
Yeah, no, it's true. It's true. And unfortunately, we're flooded with these catchy, quippy titles that just ruin all of that. So everybody, I appreciate everybody coming up here tonight, hanging out, everybody in the chat. I also appreciate you. It's great to see everybody. I'm sorry I missed you last week, but we'll do this again next week, 6 p.m. Eastern, same time. So remember, take care of yourselves. Take care of one another. Have some peace in your life. All right, you crazy people. You stay cool. Keep it real. Keep an eye out for each other. Suck in that content you love. Dance like nobody's watching. Go after your passions and enjoy them. I'm out. Peace.